Yeah, welcome, everybody to Clubby's Clubhouse. Number something. I forgot what number it is. Number we. That's it. How did you know? Oh, number 22. That's it. I forget to check sometimes, everybody. Welcome, everyone. Great to see you, everybody. Great to see you all here tonight. Of course, I am joined, as always, by my wonderful and lovely first officer, Commander R.M. Briggs. Welcome, number one.
Good evening, Captain.
Thank you for being here. I'm always looking. This is part of this and Saturday Night Star Trek, the highlight of my week, hanging out with you. And our dear friend and chief engineer, Mark D with the C, will be along eventually, folks. He was taking care of some things, but he will be here tonight eventually. Right now, we will wing it without him now. And before we get started and saying some hellos and all that kind of fun stuff, take care of a few show notes. It just so happens that my wonderful first officer is an author, and she writes things. And let me show you a little bit of what she writes, and then you can. Let me just show you. I like showing you because I love seeing this thing. And of course, feel free to add anything to that to let people know. There's a link in not only in my description below, folks, but in the chat right now for that, for where you can search out those wonderful works.
So generous and so kind of you.
Not at all.
Yeah, I appreciate your support so much. Thank you, Clobby.
Well, thank you. And I love that video thing you made there. That is so cool.
Oh, thanks.
Let's see here. Let's say some hellos. What do you think?
Do it.
Well, show note first, everyone, just so we get it out of the way. Saturday Night Star Trek, starting up season 6 of Star Trek TNG with 4 more episodes. Cannot wait for that. Having a lot of fun doing that show. I don't have any art for it yet, but Monday night we will have Monday Night Mark C Comics Talk. And we will pay tribute to our dear departed great friend Mark C.
Yeah.
And I've got I had a new spinner rack video that went up today.
Yeah.
And then of course one going up tomorrow. So there you go. Yay. And now we'll say some hellos. J-Man was here. I hope you're still here, brother. Good to see you. And he said just watched Animal. I think you mean Animals. Yes, and I know you ranked it out. Yeah, I have it low, but hey, that's okay. I'm considering how much I love the show. A low rankings, not the same as from some other shows.
There are some things to talk about that episode, J-Man. So I hope he'll stick around because we might talk about it a little bit.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Well, because Mark's not here, it'll be the perfect time because he hasn't seen it yet. Probably. Kal-El, what's up, buddy?
Hey, the real soup.
Real soups indeed. Tim Hayes, good to see you there, my friend. Jaworski pool practices here. Popped in. Good to see you.
Hey.
Hungry boy, hungry for some nuance, some context, and some subtext.
Ooh.
An overall hungry boy. I love his names.
I love his names. Most importantly, I love him though. What a great person. What a great friend he is to us.
He is extraordinary, man. So glad to see you here. Brandon, the anime guy, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, my friend.
Evening, Brandon.
Always a pleasure, sir. Zachariah, 315. Zachariah, thanks for being here. Good to see you. Monkey Jeebus.
Monkey Jeebus.
I love how you say that. And they call him Scuba Pete.
Scuba Pete! And family.
Good to see you there, buddy. Scuba. Hope you're doing well, bro. Terry Rose, lovely to see you. Welcome, Terry Rose. Thank you for being here. Andy Masterson. What's up, man?
Maker. The maker is
Hey,
the
Maker.
maker himself is in the house.
Good
Hello,
to see you,
Andy.
buddy. Yeah, good to see you there, bro. The lovely one, Sherry. Sherry, always a pleasure to have you pop in, my dear. I hope you were doing well.
Hello, sweetness, and I love your new avatar.
Oh, yeah, let's see that. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely as in lovely Sherry. One day I'll learn how to sing that song, but no. Eric Eric Carroll, hello there, my friend. Great to see you.
Hello, nice to see you.
Yes, indeed. Great to see you. We've got a great crowd tonight. Pop Culture Republic. Hello, 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 Pop.
Pop.
Let's see here. Six, another lovely lady here. Lovely and
Hello,
beautiful
gorgeous.
Six. It's so good to see you, Six. Thank you for being here. I hope you are well. Let's see here. Trevor Cunningham. Hello there, Trevor Cunningham. Welcome. It's good to see
Evening.
you. Excellent. Excellent. And anyone else pops in, we will definitely shout them out. This is
I will
Clobby's,
ring the bell.
Clobby's Clubhouse. Yes, ring the bell for Clobby's Clubhouse. Anytime someone pops in so that we can say hello, because we love having you all here with us. Let's see here.
Oh, Leslie is with us.
Leslie. Oh, is she?
Mr.
Hello,
Scuba Pete is with us.
Leslie.
Hello, beautiful.
Hello there, Leslie. I hope you're doing well tonight. Keeping that scuba in line, that scuba Pete in line there.
They're the cutest couple in real life. You would not believe how adorable they are.
Well, we all know Scuba's adorable.
He is. His wife is the same. They're the cutest
I
family
can believe
ever.
I definitely believe it. Good to see you there, Scuba. Let's see here. What's going on? What is going on with us tonight? What do we have for you guys tonight? Like I would know.
Well, I have a couple of articles because everyone loves lists. Everyone loves rankings.
I do. I love me some lists.
You know, when I was studying magazine editing and magazine writing in university, we talked about the power of numbers and how people really like lists. It helps them communicate their feelings, and it can help them sort of work out how they feel about certain things. So I have a couple of lists because they're super fun and people love that sort of thing.
Okay.
Before we do that,
yes, let's say, 6 says, I'm sick with the flu, so I will give a collective hello to everyone and hopefully fall asleep by listening. I will do our best on that one. 6. Seriously, though, please get better. I'm so sorry to hear about that. We know it's never a fun time, but love to you. And hey, don't worry about us. Just go get some rest and get better, my dear. Get better.
Yes, please. Make sure that you drink lots of fluids and keep in touch with people who love you so that they can check in on you. And begin podcasting, honey. No pressure to stay in the live chat. You are among friends here, and everyone knows you're going to go into podcasting mode. So
right.
We'll see you later, sweetheart.
Big hugs to 6, everybody.
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
Yeah. So what are these little lists you've got for us tonight?
Well, let's talk about J-Man's comment first, because
a little bit of Blake 7 talk. Yes, folks. For those who don't know, we have you know how much I love and I'm nuts about Blake 7. Well, a few of our dear friends are almost are watching it, and they're getting close to the end. And Blake, and I don't know where you are in relation to where J-Man is. But he just mentioned an episode called Animals that he has watched from season D, and you had comments on that.
Yeah, I thought that Animals was very interesting. Now, I didn't think that it was the strongest example of writing on Blake 7, because the writing is very strong on Blake 7. It has this very theater-like quality. The dialogue is very high quality. So, it's not the best Blake 7. However, I really did enjoy the Dr. Moreau, the island of Dr. Moreau quality to that episode. I also love the fact that the animals were beasts of burden, and I thought that it was very clever that you would make human beings out of beasts of burden, and so they look like these giant oxen that are used to plow rice paddies and to plow fields.
Yes.
And so I thought that was incredibly interesting. And I also have to, as a cosplayer, I have to doff my cap to this shoestring budget Like you could buy a box of chocolate bars for more than they had to make each episode of this show.
Yep.
And I was blown away by the quality of the animals in that episode. So although the writing isn't strong, let's just make it very clear, it's still Blake 7. So we still have Avon, releasing the zingers, and they sting everywhere they go. They're like killer bees. They just ding, 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 ding.
Yeah,
And
I love him. Eric K, what's up, buddy?
and yeah, so it's not the strongest. I understand why Clubby has it ranked low,
No, it's
but
cool.
it's
Yeah.
still B7.
Oh yeah, look, I mean that's my lowest rated episode, and I still, have things I like in it. So it's not like I don't hate. There's not an episode I actually hate of the series. There's some I don't like much, and that's where they get into the rating. But I can always find something, and I can't say that. I mean, even to the shows that I might love even more, where I could find things I like in an episode, even if I don't have it highly rated. But
Yeah,
this one, oh yeah, look, I'm with you.
we have to we really have to sit down and do like a review where I will be able to rewatch the show. I will no longer be on internet blackout mode, so I'll actually be able to look Blake 7 up on the internet and read and see everything you guys are reading and seeing, and I'm very excited about it. But I will tell you this. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. I think Blake 7 has such good writing and such good dialogue and is such great science fiction without becoming science fantasy. Science fiction's always at the heart of it. That I like Blake 7 more than I like Babylon 5.
So do I, but I always have. But I hear you. You're right. That's not a small statement because most people, even though they know that JMS was a fan of Blake 7 himself and admitted it as a big influence for him, will tell you that because Babylon 5 is more elaborate, it goes in far more directions. It has arcs. It has soap opera. It has all that stuff, and that's all fine and good. And I really do like it. I'm not saying there's no reason why he should have tried to make it a carbon copy of Blake 7. He did a fine job as it was, and that's Babylon 5 is its own animal, and Blake 7 is its own. I just out of the two, I love Blake 7 more, although I really love Babylon 5, and I'm glad. And see, there's the good thing, when you think about it, he took inspiration from it without trying to rip it too much.
Yeah, and the homage is there. It's like, as you know, I grew up as a musician, classically trained musician in a professional band. And, there are so many people where you can hear the influences in their playing, in their technique. Tone is in the fingers, and you could hear Larry Carlton in people's playing, and you can hear Eric Clapton in people's playing, and you can hear, you know what I'm saying? So
Sure.
there is a way to do it that is homage, where you can see influence, but nothing is ripped and torn. No label is torn off and turned inside out and passed over as something original. It's something a lot more beautiful than that. So it's like when a great author uses illusion in their novel, tipping their hat, doffing their cap to writers that came previously that they really truly love. So Blake 7 is something that is very special. It is as special, I would say, as The Prisoner. And I would not have ever watched it if it weren't for you. So thank you for that. And I love you, you big geek. You're making this nerd actually respect some television. I mean, as you know, nerds are academic and geeks are all about film and television and art production as far as visual arts and stuff goes. So, but I'm actually beginning to respect some of these TV shows. They're pretty good. You're making this nerd like TV.
We already liked some TV, so there you go.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, when you talk about something that is rather than today when they just remake everything,
Mhm.
they asked Paul Darrow, the great actor who plays Avon, back around 2004 or 5-ish. They asked him, 5, 6, somewhere up in there. Do you think they should remake? What would you think? How would you want them to go about remaking Blake 7? You know me, how much that aggravates me, right? He didn't come out and act like the usual pansy and go, I thought that will be terrific. And he said, I think they should do things that are inspired by it, that are maybe, similar to it. Rather, he said, and he uses an example, Firefly. And I'm going, yes. He said, in other words, don't rip it off, don't remake it. He said, I don't think you should remake it. Why remake it? Do something that is maybe something similar along similar lines that is inspired by it, rather than just remake someone else's thing. And I really love that answer he gave. I'm like, yeah, because there's an example. Firefly, there's a Blake 7 kinship to it, the same way Blake Babylon 5 is, yet it's still its own thing.
Yeah.
And I just
definitely.
think, or just like Farscape, there's a lot of Blake 7 in there, but it's still its own thing.
Yes. And you can see it. It's there so subtly. But
Yes.
it is a beautiful thing. But yeah, it's time to stop innovating. And I'm being very generous when I'm using that word innovating. It's just reboots and rehashes, but it's time I'll be kind and just use the word innovate. It's time to stop innovating and it's time to start inventing again. Write your own gosh darn stories. Write your own. You don't need to remake or reboot or reimagine somebody else's work. Just do your own work. Write your own thing.
Yes.
Eric K. Good
I'm
evening.
sorry. I don't know if you.
No. I just wanted to make sure that he knew that I knew what he was having for supper.
Oh,
As
yes.
many of you in the audience know, I know many of you are part of our community who are close friends with us. When we talk geek and nerd, as the hours get later and later, we all start to edge towards the midnight snack. And so we always discuss what we're eating on the air. And tonight, the great Eric K is having carne asada nachos with beans and jalapenos picked from the garden, 3 cheeses,
Ugh.
and homemade guacamole, and a margarita to finish off the meal. And it sounds delicious. Good evening, Eric K. Mwah, mwah.
Good to see you there, bro. Hope you're doing well, man. But yeah, on my rating scale, by the way, I made my rating instead of like A, B, or whatever, like we do with Nets, TNG. On Blake 7, I made it 1 to 7 plus, because 7, I don't know. And I do.
That's great.
I do have animals at a 1, but I still have things I like in it. And
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still Blake 7, right?
well, it's just funny how my number 1 and my number 52 are both directed by the same woman, by the way. So it's funny how that works. Yes, I know the directors of the episodes. I'm a sicko. Keely Chow.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide there, Keely Chow. But yes, and so that's the way I went with my ratings of it, and I cannot wait until I don't know how far you got to go. Do you know?
I have, I believe, 4 episodes left. But I've really been dragging my heels, and the reason why I've been dragging my heels is I don't want it to be over.
I know.
Like I'm not American, I'm Canadian. So let's just make it really clear that I grew up in the 1970s. I grew up of very modest means. And I have a lot of American friends. And so my American friends are really introducing me to stuff that there's no way I could have watched that in Canada in the 1970s or the 1980s. It's just, it wasn't possible. Either there wasn't cable or cable was too expensive. And of course, there are, whether or not it's even syndicated and available in certain regions. And so I've been having a great time. I mean, you told me about The Prisoner. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I call it poetry, even though it's not poetry, because I always say it reminds me of Samuel Taylor Coleridge, reminds me of the Kubla Khan, this sort of opium den, or, laying in a field after taking laudanum and dreaming up this world. Prisoner's beautiful. Blake 7 is amazing. Scuba Pete and others who have suggested movies to me. I'm having a great time. But I don't want Blake 7 to be over. I really don't want Blake 7 to be over.
How do you feel? You know how I feel about it. I'm so envious of you. By the way, Scotty R37. Good to see you there, my friend.
Hey,
Thank
Scotty.
you. I'm just envious that you're getting to see it for the first time. I mean, I can't even imagine what that would be like. Remember, I've been in love with it since 1986, 87.
Yeah.
I believe it was. So, or 86 or 7. So, and I watched them over and over and over and over. It's a good thing I have a garbage memory because I can watch one. I mean, there's some I've watched a lot more than others.
Mm-hmm.
Like Star Trek, I can throw on any old episode and just get in a Blake 7 mood Let me watch, and which one do I want to watch? And I'll flip around and I'm like, maybe this, boom. So, yes, but it does, and I do that with Trek and Doctor Who and other things like that. So, but it's funny. Just when you were started watching them, I went and I started at where you were, like a week or two ago, or something like that, and I already watched them all the way to the end again. I have a serious problem.
Yeah, I could have binged it, and I probably could have finished it. I was having a gay old time. Just I hysterically laughed like, and we live in a world of hyperbole. The digital verse has made people speak so outrageously about one another. No woman is pretty anymore. She's drop dead gorgeous and so on and so forth. But I 100% could have gone nutso on this and just watched it straight to the end. But I can't do it. I can't do it because it's so awesome. I should not use that word. Awesome that I don't want it to be over. I just don't want it to be over.
Oh no! Well, look, I hear you. I hear you. Sorry, I was answering someone. Sorry about that. I had to answer a message to someone.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Cam's Crash Courses. He says at Clobbering Times at Raquel Briggs, create, don't innovate. Yes, exactly. I've been yelling and screaming that for a few years now, and I just wish that people would take a risk on a new
Cam.
yeah. Take
Sorry
a
about
risk
that,
on a
everyone.
new author and look at a new author's works, read those stories, and make something of those stories. But stop trying to reboot, rehash, recreate, reimagine other people's work. I
Yes.
don't. I don't think there's any merit in that, and we need to stop giving those people money to do that to us.
Yeah, I've never ever had any respect for people who remake everything and reboot everything. And I just don't. I mean, I don't understand why you think it's creative to take someone else's characters or take someone else's work or take or remake someone's film. And by the way, it's another thing. If you're like, say, for example, you write a Star Trek novel or you write a Star Trek comic or a Star Wars comic or a comic that are continuing adventures, your own continuing adventures of the character, I still think you should show respect to the creators of that character and not go ridiculous with him. But it's even worse when you're remaking someone's film, like Peter Jackson. I love those Lord of the Rings films. He remakes King Kong in 2005, and everyone loves it, but me. Because I'm going, wait a minute. I love the original Willis O'Brien film in 1933. The remake in '76 is garbage because it's nowhere near as good, and this has all those wonderful Peter Jackson special effects, and it's a crashing bore to me. Again, it's never going to top the original King Kong. I don't understand how you go from the mentality, because he said this, I love that movie. That's I love it. You're remaking it. If you're remaking it, I can't believe you love it. I don't understand. The two don't follow for me.
Yeah.
You're
Well, that's
insulting
just
it.
it. Scotty R37 says they're good at adaptations. It ain't definitive. Adaptation is something that is completely different, though, Scotty. That is,
Yes, adaptations, yes.
that's a completely different definition of what would happen, what would transpire. That would be somebody reading a book and saying, let's adapt that into a film. And so the storytelling is very different. It's very different to write for the eye than it is to write for the ear. When you're writing, and you're using language, you're engaging the brain in and deep thought, and the images are created inside of your mind. And when you're watching a film, all of the images are already there for you. And when you're writing for a radio show, once again, you're hearing it, and then you're creating the story inside of your head. So adaptations it's something completely different. Scotty, one thing that I've learned since I've been friends with all of these geeks as a nerd is that you guys have original source material. I wasn't aware of this before. I mean, I was vaguely aware of it, but not in the publishing sense in which Clobby has taught me. And that is, there are reasons why geeks are outraged by the adaptations in these superhero movies, is because they betray the comics that and the authors and creators and artists that the craftspersons that worked on these beautiful comic books. And so there's original source material there. So I would look at an adaptation a little bit differently than I would look at a reboot or a reimagining or yeah. It seems as though I'm talking about nuance, but I'm not. I'm actually talking about the different modes of craft and what can be done, and taking one thing and turning it into something different.
Yep. Wow. J-Man, dude, I have the program guide, or had it. I don't know what I did with it. But he got Paul Adero's autograph. He ordered it.
No way.
Dude, that's badass. I think Peter Jackson loved it so much he wanted to bring it to a new audience. Then tell him to watch the 1933 Willis O'Brien classic. That doesn't make any sense to me. And make it epic, but it just doesn't work. It's just too long and kind of boring, and still, of course, I know you still bought it. I watched it at the theater, so what am I saying? I hear you. What I'm saying is, I don't call that love when you say on the one. I'm just saying I don't get the mentality, especially a guy like Peter Jackson who could make his own monster movie and say, I was inspired by Willis O'Brien. But to say, I love the 1933 Willis O'Brien classic King Kong, which I do too as well. I can't wait to remake it. I don't get the sentence, I love so-and-so movie, and then followed by, I can't wait to remake it. Remaking it is an insult to me. Midnight Sets. Hey, Tom, how you doing? Good to see you.
Hey, Tom's here.
Tom liked it. A lot of people liked it. I don't understand it. I just say, for me, when you remake it, you're insulting it. When you remake something that doesn't need to be remade again, yes, I think the Dino version sucks as well. Dino had no love for it. He was just cashing in. And in 76. So, I mean, that's just me. Again, people like that. And I love the dinosaur fight scene in the Peter Jackson one. Tom says, honestly, Kong isn't one that bothers me so much. We've had so many like Godzilla and Dracula that is a kind of thing going for it. I mean, look, he did it. He didn't call me and ask me for permission. And so that's that. But Apollome's Minion, good to see you there.
And the pupper.
And the
truck dog.
Good
the
to see
pepperoni.
Good to see you, Apollomy. But no, look, I hear you, Tom, and most people like it. I have this just absolutely revulsion towards remakes. The only movie that's sort of considered a remake that I love as one of my all-time favorite films is John Carpenter's The Thing. And at least, it's a remake, but it's also based more on the story that it's the book that it's taken, the short story or whatever, Who Goes There, that it comes from. But yes, you could call me on that and go, technically, it's a remake. And I'll go, okay, the world is full of exceptions, and I will accept that I break my own rule with that movie. Other than that, you can chop off. Other than that,
isn't it funny though how everyone mentions though fidelity? That's the first thing out of your mouth there, Clobby.
Well, yeah. Well, infidelity's always been a problem, but what I'm saying is basically, aside from that exception, because there are exceptions in life, I admit it. Aside from that exception, you could chop one of my hands off and I'll have plenty of fingers to count remakes that I think are worth a damn. In terms of, and I'm just talking movies right now. They're there are revamps of TV shows and stuff that I just why? So yeah, but remakes of movies, I'll make an exception if one is really good, and even still, I don't like the idea of it.
I think it has to be something spectacular. I mean, think about it in my world, in the publishing world, in the writing world, writing proper novels. There are people who have reimagined Jane Austen novels and made an entire career out of reimagining, remaking, and rebooting the Austen, the Jane Austen books. And so, I mean, I guess that's okay. But is that really writing? Is that really creating? And I guess where the lines
No.
start to blur is when you enter the celluloid, where
Well,
now all of a sudden you have these interpretations, like Dune. Dune is a 1,000+ page novel, and so when I saw the most recent film of Dune, I saw it as an art statement. It's an art statement about the book, but it's not the book. So I guess that's where the lines start to blur, because it begins to appeal to people for different reasons other than the original source material, that original text. It's the interpretation.
well, Tom's point's very interesting to me when he says here that he says, I get the reaction, but Kong, I think, is one of those stories that can be told again and again in different ways. I would argue that the two times they remade it, they weren't really telling it in that much of a different way, but I hear what you're saying. But I did like Skull Island for that very point that you make. It was Kong, but it was a different story about Kong, and it was kind of a different iteration. And I enjoyed Skull Island as well, there, Tom. So I do see what you're saying. I really did like Skull Island a lot. Lee Anthony Davis, what's up, buddy? Good to see you.
I think the problem is, though, is that a lot of these people just believe that with the advent of CGI, with the advent of technology, that they can take what was written on the mind's eye and put it on screen and be lauded for it. And I'm not sure that that is craftspersonship. I don't think that's craftsmanship. I don't think that that is truly creating. I mean, it's a form of interpretation, but I just don't think it's a true form of creation. I don't think you can truly call yourself an artist if you're constantly taking something that someone else made and recycling it and putting your own notes on it. I mean, it's the same as being in a band. I mean, it's really great if you can do a wonderful cover of a song, but you never wrote that song. And eventually you're going to have to sit down and you're going to have to write your own story. You know, yeah, I'm wondering how many times the story can be told over and over again. And I think people are sick of it. And I mean, let's face it, this isn't being done because there's some craftsperson, you know, toiling away, wondering how they can bring all of this stuff to bear in a new and fresh way. That's not what's actually happening. What's actually happening is you have corporations pushing to take these IPs that they've already purchased and make them come alive again in a billion-dollar way. And so it's also the fact that the ends and the means, I think, also grate on people as well. I think people are beginning to lose patience for it. But, you know, that's just my opinion for whatever it's worth. Although it's obvious that it's only my
Indeed.
opinion.
Well, what a rabbit hole the old remakes thing is, and but I think I'm glad that at least we are now in an age where even if you like a remake or two or whatever, that most people are, even people who for a while there, up until like last maybe 10 years or so, there are a lot of people like, what's the big deal? Let them remake it. Stop, give it a chance. Now we're at the point where most people, even if they like some remakes that have been made, are saying enough with the remakes. So at least took a while to get there. I've been saying it for 30 years, but that's just me because I'm not well disposed towards a remake. But Tom says the one remembers the original Girls Just Want to Have Fun, or I Love Rock and Roll, for example. But those all go with the points we're stating. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely,
well,
Tom.
Maybe Tom, but I think I'm a little bit older than you because I remember the original.
Well, I don't remember them, but that's just, and I'm older than both of you. So. But I can't remember. Yeah. I don't remember anything.
I grew up in a band, so I guess that's the difference. But you know what I'm saying? It's just
okay.
Eventually, if you're a musician, if you want to call yourself a musician and not a weekend warrior, you can't just do cover tunes all the time. And so I'm using that as an analogy to drive the point home that what is creation? What is being an artist? And I think being an artist means inventing. It's not just innovating. I think innovation is massaging, shaping, recoloring, putting a new paper doll on the paper doll. But I don't think it's creating the doll proper.
Yep. Well, there you go. Get me on remakes, and I'll start bitching right away. So,
yeah, I'm not a fan of remakes.
You have some lists for us, do you not?
I do, boss man.
And feel free lists, right?
And yes, I vetted them as filth free, and that is an increasingly difficult endeavor, let me tell you. So we can
What you
start with,
got?
yeah. Why don't you drive the bus? I've got them uploaded, so just go ahead and
Which one?
access them.
Which one's which? Which
I've
one you want to?
converted both into a PDF. So we have one that is Star Trek 10 scenes that freaked people out. And then I have Star Trek 20 of the most dangerous species. And both
Okay.
are
I'm
some
not
cool
sure which
lists.
is which. By the way, J-Man, they did a terrible remake. Only big finish though of Blake 7, which is disgusting. If they ever try Blake 7, if they really ever try to remake Blake 7, I will take a hostage. Just saying.
He's kidding. He's kidding. He's
No, I'm not. I
kidding.
mean, yes, maybe I am.
Yes, Trevor
Uh,
Cuttinghouse. I totally
hey,
agree, Trevor.
Tom, thanks for stopping by, Tom. Good to see you there, brother. Hope you're
Night,
doing well.
honey. Mwah,
Sleep
mwah.
well,
Night,
buddy.
Tom. Thank you for stopping by, sweetheart.
But which of these is which? Because I
Well,
can't
let's
really
do
tell.
10 scenes that freaked everyone out. So you
I
can
know,
see
but I
it says
can't
Star
see
Trek and
which
then
is
it
which
says
though.
10. Yeah.
It doesn't say which is which. This one or the other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. Okay, folks. Holly, let's see. Yeah, exactly. Paul Avon. Paul Darrow is Avon. All right, take it easy, J man.
Oh, you
Appreciate you,
think?
buddy.
Oh, good night. And good night to your lovely wife as well.
Hollywood is creatively bankrupt and morally bankrupt. Absolutely. A long time ago, I didn't mind remakes because I like to compare them to the originals. But after what's been done recently, no thanks. One of these days, I'd like to get Tom and a couple others who like our big movie files and do a show where you compare the remake to the class. If it's like a classic film, a classic original.
Mm-hmm.
Not just that, because everything's been remade now. It used to be they would just remake classic stuff, the big stuff. But everything's been freaking remade now. But yeah, that would be fun. So here we go. Alrighty then.
And I definitely don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. If you like reboots and you like remakes because you love nostalgia and you think it's wonderful, I definitely don't want to step on your toes. It's just I don't enjoy it.
Whereas in my case, if you do like those, I do want to hurt your feelings. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. I love you all.
Scotty,
Okay.
nobody better try and remake the Beverly Hillbillies. I will be so upset.
They did.
Did they? Oh
A
my
movie, though. It
goodness.
was a movie remake of the TV show.
Why?
Jim Varney, Dietrich Bader was in it. Why? Because that was in the late 90s when they were remaking a lot of TV shows.
No.
And it was just a silly one-off movie, and they didn't make any more. What does that tell you?
Yeah, it's terrible.
But yeah, they've done a few things. Like those Brady Bunch remakes. They did 2 of those movies. They did a Starsky and Hutch. They did a Little Rascal. They did a lot of I don't know, silly stuff.
See, this is how you can tell I'm not a geek. I do not know that much about films, and I certainly would rather have my nose in a book than my eyes on a film. So, yeah, it's easy to.
But books be all wordy.
Pardon?
Sorry, so books be all wordy.
Yeah.
Okay, can you read that? Because I can't see
I
it.
sure can. I can read it. So
because I can't really see it. So
okay, well then let's do this.
Proceed.
Yeah, so this is Star Trek 10 scenes that made viewers nervous when watching, and it's written by Derek Draven, published on February 27th, 2021. It is filth free, and we are now copyright compliant. So let's proceed.
Is that Screenland?
Pardon? I think it might be.
Okay, but still, I'll give them credit that as much as they're bad, but if they're doing one filth free, that's pretty good. I got to hand it to them.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to find these listy lists now,
right?
Because they would always like to put the filth as number one, unfortunately.
Gotcha. We'll go for it.
Yeah, so let's do it. So throughout the various Star Trek TV shows, spin-offs, and movies, there are a bunch of scenes that make many viewers nervous during a rewatch, even to this day. Here are 10 of the most spine-tingling, in no particular order, proving that Star Trek's galaxy isn't all sunshine and rainbows. In fact, given its deep space setting, pretty much none of it is. And of course, coming in at number 10, if you just wanted to advance the screen to slide 2.
Oh, okay. You don't have access to it?
Oh, I do, but I
would let you control it. Okay, no, I'll get it then. Let me find out where I am. Oh. Go for it.
Here we go. The Exploding Enterprise.
Wow, that's a good choice. I was very upset.
It was hard to watch. Didn't you think so?
I was angry. I mean, I was pissed off, and I remember there was Ken Ralston, one of the guys who did the special effects for Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock, was saying in Cinefex or one of those magazines how he hated the big model they had. It was gigantic. It was huge, and he was making jokes about it. So he said he was so happy to blow that thing up. And we're like, man, I'll punch your face in, boy. But back then, we wanted to punch him out for that. So when they blew it up, it was. Again, it works into the film, and I love the movie. I'm one of those. I'm a big defender and lover of Star Trek 3.
Yeah, me too.
I get it, but like that line earlier where Admiral What's-His-Face Jim, the Enterprise, is 20 years old. Every time we said we'd yell 40 because it was 40, not 20. Yeah. And it's just like seeing an old friend die. It was like seeing Spock die, but whereas you think you might get Spock back, spoiler alert, you're not going to get you might get another ship, but it's not the same one. But it's also a beautiful scene because of the effect of it. Mm-hmm. Yep, you teared up. I probably did too, Scuba. I know I was distraught. We didn't know we knew it was going to happen. No, don't do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we all had a pretty big relationship with the Enterprise. The Enterprise was like Auric. It had a life of its own. It was a character. Yes. Unto itself. So yeah, I was pretty upset. And
that was Admiral Morrow. That's right, Scotty. Well said. Yeah, it was just wow. But it was also a very dramatic and touching scene. Yeah, I'll give it that. So you ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
And if you want me to read any of these, I can. So
yeah, because I can't see it. So
here's a pretty controversial one. It's the Borg on the Enterprise, Star Trek First Contact. And it says something pretty interesting here. I'm going to read it because I think it's something that you and I should discuss because it was brought up on Saturday Night Star Trek. And do you remember when you told me, Captain, if you ever have any spillover conversations, let's have them on CLOBBERIN.
Sure.
Well, here we are.
Go for it. And by the way, I love what Scotty did, though.
Yes.
What you had to do, what you always do. Turn death into a fighting chance to live. Sorry, one of my favorite quotes of Star Trek. Okay.
That is a great
Go for it. Sorry about that.
No, don't apologize. That's the whole reason why I bring this kind of thing to the show is because I love talking about Star Trek. So please, riff away. The Borg were the natural enemy for Picard and his crew to battle in a Hollywood film, which is why they were chosen for First Contact. After the Borg initiate a second attack on Earth, their plans are thwarted when Picard joins the fight and uses his knowledge of their technology to exploit a key weakness. It isn't enough to stop them permanently, however. Before being destroyed, the remaining Borg beam onto Enterprise E and begin transforming it inside and out. When the crew learns of this, they venture into the dark bowels of the ship to face their enemy head on. The tension is ratcheted up to unbearable levels before the big reveal. Okay, so actually, this is not the list that I was referring to. So the other list gets into what we were talking about whether or not, like how you classify the Borg as are they a species or are they more like a daemon from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein? Are they more like these gruesome mutilations of human beings? But that's on the other list. But so that's a shame. But when we get to the other list, yeah, I would love to dig into that and and talk about that because I think that that's incredibly interesting. But yeah, so how did you feel during First Contact? Did it make you feel uneasy?
Yeah. Then what scene are they speaking? Because I can't see the whole picture of it. What scene is this again?
So this is where. Yeah, so this is where the remaining Borg beam onto the Enterprise E and begin transforming it inside and out.
Yeah, that was pretty disturbing. The movie, well, we're going to be reviewing it one of these days. Steve Mitchum, what's up, buddy? Oh, man.
Hey. Yay!
Oh wow, got your teeth pulled today.
Ew.
Yow. Wow. Yeah. Feel better, brother. Hey, the Richard. Oh my goodness, it's an honor. I haven't seen you here before, buddy, but I've seen you at RMBs and other places, and
Hello, hello.
it is an honor to see you, my friend. Yes, it was pretty. I can see that was pretty hairy stuff. I mean, did it touch me and mess me up the way the destruction of the Enterprise did? No.
I agree.
We haven't reviewed that movie yet here, so we won't go too far into it. But I can see where it would be one of the disturbing bits, in Trek. Yeah, you.
I think a lot of people felt like that the Borg could not be defeated, and so the relentlessness of the Borg, they had built up the villain to the point where people did not think the Borg could be defeated. So I could definitely see how it makes people feel uneasy. But for me, I think that the original cast and the original movies hold the most anxiety and the most emotion for me.
Hey there, the Richard. Looks like he's responding to stuff we were talking about earlier. Maybe his stream might be back a little bit. Hey, Steve Mitchum, if you're still hearing me, buddy, I hope you feel better, man. So sorry to hear about that, brother.
Yeah.
So, next one?
Yeah, go and rest.
Okay.
Okay, so the next one is peaceful coexistence.
Peaceful coexistence from Conspiracy.
Yes, from
Max Redstone.
What hey, that? Max Redstone.
What's up, man? Good to see you, buddy.
Max.
Well, yeah, we had Technical Productions to sing this. It's called Inclusion.
Yeah.
The Borg, we are Borg. Yeah. Remick, yes. Again, one of the few first season episodes that I really liked a lot. Or was the second season? First. It was the end of the first season. And first. Sorry, everyone. I mean, that was inexcusable being to make that mistake.
No, not really. It's TNT, not TOS.
That's true. But this was a pretty disturbing. I'll give it that. Yeah.
Well, Phil fans like to use this as the excuse for the current level of violence in the filth. And so a lot of people were greatly disturbed by this episode. A lot of people were really frightened by it.
And no one ever said there was no violence. Just because, yes, there was some gruesome violence, especially later in the Berman Trek stuff. Mm-hmm. Sure, no one, whoever said there wasn't, but not that doesn't justify what you idiots do on the filth.
Yeah,
and it's not what you wallow in it, though. I mean, it's in some episodes, and you got to have it in some drama. So.
Yeah, pulling each eye out, in some form.
There's no excuse for that crap, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's no one was being tortured here, and But if the thing is, if Stephen Hawking is afraid, we should be afraid too. And when we reach out, what reaches back might not be, Barney the dinosaur, where we're going to all hold hands and sing and have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So. But then there's also gratuitous violence and gore, and I don't consider that gore. And as you know, Clobby, I'm pretty sensitive to the gore thing.
And they had no choice but to do that. What was in that case, Picard and Riker did the only thing they could really do right there. Mm-hmm. Also, it wasn't pew pew pew, and it wasn't what the hell, screw them, we don't care, and just what they're not. It wasn't gratuitous. I mean, yeah, it was gross because it needed to be, but. It wasn't them just deciding willy-nilly to kill some being for no reason. I mean, it was something that had to be done.
Mm-hmm. And it was something that would be almost like parasitic. So, imagine, if a tick would become engorged to the point where it would be the size of a brick, and then it would enter your body. I mean, you're talking about wiping out the entire human species. To essentially become like those zombie wasps, where that bacteria takes over their bodies, and that's it. And so it needed to be done, and that's what science fiction does. Science fiction helps you to come to grips with what will happen when we encounter extreme advances in medicine, extreme advances in technology, and possible alien extraterrestrial contact. And that's what science fiction is supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be helping us to sort of figure out what we're going to do and how we feel about it.
Just Joe Jobber, what's up, brother? Good to see you.
Hey.
Yep. So next one is we're going to be reviewing this one this week.
We are. So this one is, of course, Remembering the Room, Star Trek: The Next Generation, TNG. One of the creepiest and most disturbing stories in Star Trek lore is undoubtedly Schisms from the show's 6th season. The story centered on a crew undergoing weird physical and psychological traumas, all linked with a lack of sleep. When Dr. Crusher discovers that Riker's arm has been severed and reattached, she realizes there's a foul element at work. And yeah, a lot of people are really, really frightened by this episode, or were frightened.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's a top 10er, but I've never even conceived of making a top 10, to be fair. So I'm not saying it isn't either. But yes, we just watched the episode. In fact, I would say that it is a little, it was pretty disturbing stuff to find out something like that's going on. Yeah, I mean, sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you give it some deep thought, I mean, I don't think that
Yeah.
Schisms frightens me. I don't find it one of the most frightening episodes, but
No.
certainly if you were to contemplate this, the situation of having your being told that your arm was severed,
Right.
and reattached, it was sort of indicative of all of those people who said they had been abducted by aliens and had experiments, performed on them, and then they were returned to Earth. So I think Schisms really, really gets into that sense of powerlessness and what could be done to your body by an advanced life form. So I can see why it's scary, but
Yeah.
it didn't have a big effect on me.
No, I got you.
Next one. This one I did not I don't know how I feel about this one. I think the first time I watched it, I found it pretty scary because the character was so relentless and it was sort of weird. But on rewatch, I don't find it that frightening. It's Altavar Attacks from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And so, what do you think? Did this one
I'm gonna
freak
need
you out?
I'm gonna need some memory jogging here.
Okay, well then
I
I'll
need a
do
lot
it.
more. Go for it.
Dr. Bashir was the central figure in a frightening episode based entirely on his unconscious mind in Deep Space Nine Season 3 episode Distant Voices.
Oh yeah.
The story revolves around Bashir undergoing a telepathic assault by a fearsome-looking Lithian
Oh,
named
yeah.
Altavar
I
after he
see.
was caught trying to steal a cache of biomimetic gel. So yeah, so
Right.
this is in Bashir's mind, and here's this telepathic creature, and it's pretty relentless.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I guess it was. I mean, I guess it hasn't stuck in my mind. In fact, now I remember it. I don't remember the last time I've watched that one. But no, I don't know if I would find it so particularly memorable that I would put it on any list or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it was spooky. Sure.
Hmm.
So I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, but it's not up there for me. The next one is up there for me though.
The next, yeah, this thing jumps, so you can't see it all. But I remember that one with from the
Yeah,
Zindi arc.
the zombified Vulcans from Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah, that was pretty messed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this whole idea of being exposed to that trellium, and obviously it's toxic to Vulcans, and yeah, I found that one really scary, and I also found it sad. I always find it really sad when Vulcans lose control.
Scotty liked that DS9 one, by the way. That's the one that got him back into DS9. Wow. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, nice.
Take it easy, Richard. Good. Thank you for popping in, buddy.
Good night.
Even though you can't hear me because I think his stream was a little bit backed up, but good to see you. Oh, yeah, this was a sad one.
Yeah,
All those Vulcans.
yeah,
Or
and not being able to save them, I think, was the worst. Spoiler alert. But
right.
yeah, being able to
Yes.
save them and just you know, realizing that you've been poisoned to the point where no one can help you. That's really terrifying. You know, when you get bit by a rattlesnake, you make sure that you get your butt down to the hospital and you get your anti-venom. There was no cure for the Trillium. And hey, JT Kirk.
JT Kirk, hey.
Yeah.
But you're right.
So,
It's pretty scary. I mean, again, it was some pretty disturbing stuff. Again, so I've never even conceived of any kind of a list like this. So I mean, it's not. I don't have strong opinion one way or the other.
hmm
But I would say that I can't argue with that one being a disturbing one. Yeah.
yeah. I think my list would look a lot different, and obviously it would involve a lot more of the original cast and the original,
Gotcha.
POS.
I hear you there. So the next one is the Borg invade Federation space. Now that was pretty disturbing.
It was. And I think that at this point, I think the writers realized that, like that they were building up this Borg to the point where people felt as though the Borg could not be stopped. And, what if the Borg reached Earth? And they really felt like they were an invincible villain, a totally invincible villain, which can be very disturbing because you're wondering how the events are going to unfold.
Yeah.
Didn't scare me though.
No, I mean, no, it was just certainly unnerving a little bit, but scary. I don't know if I'll call it scary.
Well, here's one that scared the pants off of me.
Spider Barkley?
Yeah, Spider Barkley from Genesis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so obviously the Fly scared the crap out of me. Hungry Boy knows that movie scared the crap.
Whatever. Yes. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you see Barkley with the eyes, I was like, oh.
Wow. So I haven't watched that one in a little while, but I have seen it, but I haven't watched it in a little while.
Genesis. So it's coming.
It's on the way. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so a lot of people thought that it was, a lot of people, the article says, people found the episode eerie, ominous, nerve-wracking, and the tension reaches explosive levels when Picard is attacked through a pane of glass by Lieutenant Barkley, who is de-evolving into a giant spider. Arachnophobes must have severe trouble coping with this episode. Well, for me, it wasn't arachnophobia. It totally reminded me of the scene in The Fly where I had to cover up my face because I couldn't watch it. It was too frightening.
If I remember right, all I remember about this episode was being annoyed by Brendan Braga's obsession with turning people into monsters.
He does have that obsession. He loves everything is a creature feature for him.
Yes. And by the way, I thought it was my imagination, but I had a guy, I really never thought about it until something like late 90s or something. A guy said, have you ever all those episodes in different Star Treks, later Treks, where people turn into monsters and crap? Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, sure. Brandon Braga, and I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's a look at it. He's obsessed with it. He did it on V'ger too.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
Yeah, he always has to add like the scary creature element to almost every episode. I mean, he'll find a way, right?
Yeah.
So number 2 is the morgue scene.
Your favorite episode?
Night Terrors.
Oh boy. Now, I mean, I remember thinking the episode was dumb. I don't remember ever being scared in the episode. Were you?
Nope. I was never afraid.
No.
Didn't
do. I guess when the episode is so crappy, it's kind of tough to be scared.
And number 1,
it's time for
Number 1 is Khan, mind control. And obviously it doesn't have it on here, and they're calling it an earworm. It's not an earworm. It's a SETI eel.
SETI Alpha eel.
And so, this genuinely scared the crap out of me. I slept with cotton balls in my ears. Actually, I used bathroom tissue. I chewed bathroom tissue into like earplugs and shoved them into my ears because I was so scared. What a creeper this was. I gotta tell you.
Scotty thought Night Terrors had some tension and okay, well, fair enough.
Oh, okay, well, fair enough.
I was probably just too annoyed I may have been just too bored to catch it, but but I hear you, Scotty, though. We respect all opinions here.
Kal-El says that the Dr. Crusher in the morgue scene creeped him out as well.
Okay. Oh, he did. Okay, fair enough, you guys. Hey, look, I hear you.
Just Joe.
Fair enough.
These are, of course,
it's highly rated. So there you go. Again, I guess I've just never really ever thought along lines of this list of when it comes to Trek, the most disturbing scenes have never really. Hello there, Mr. Angel.
Hello, Chef.
Welcome. But
Morning.
I squirmed in the theater. Scuba Pete says, "What theater?"
He's
Rathacon. Yeah.
Yeah, for Rathacon. Yeah.
I always get a little bit, disturbed by this scene.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, Lee Richard still there, but I think good to see you there. I think he's finally now hearing what we were saying to him earlier. That happens sometimes. People get the stream back a little ways back in the stream. So which it's happened to me before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess this is number one, right? I guess
it's number one.
I can certainly see that.
It's a very, very good list. JT Kirk says, Raquel, every time I get some sort of ear blockage or infection, and I feel things shifting in my inner ear, I still fear it is a bug in my ear trying to get my brain.
Well, what is the list is? What is the list called again? Because like he says, this one doesn't scare me, says Kal-El, so much as it made me squirm when I witnessed the more. Yeah, it's just like that number 10 that they have, the Enterprise being destroyed didn't scare me. It got me on an emotional level. It seems like all the other ones are scary, or intended to be scary, and that are disturbing in some way. And this one's disturbing for sure.
I think this one is just entitled the ones that make viewers feel squeamish or anxious. I think that's what this one's called.
Max, I got you.
Yeah, the Salt Vampire completely freaked me out when I watched it in the 70s, Trevor.
Let's see, what would be a freaky thing that they didn't put on there from Trek? Salt Vampire, but yeah, Salt Vampire is freaky.
Mm-hmm. Like body horror. That seems to be what freaks people out, but I don't know. Except for the Bev scene, which is morgue, but once again, it's coming in contact with a dead body, right?
Yeah. I guess there's some other stuff from the original series that was probably considered freaky. So I don't know.
Charlie X scared the
oh God,
bejesus out of me.
The scene with the woman when he takes her face away, that should have been on here.
That it definitely should have been on there, and I was genuinely frightened of that of Charlie for a very long time. I grew up watching Star Trek in the 70s, and yes. I can definitely tell you that Charlie really, really, really frightened me.
A close runner-up for Kal-El would have been the ghost of Ronan temporarily possessed the dead body of Dr. Crusher's grandmother in the episode Sub Rosa. That's that one with Duncan Regehr, if I remember right. So I haven't seen that one in a while, so I couldn't really comment on it. I'll see it soon, somehow.
Max says he got freaked out by Devil in the Dark.
Back then,
you thought it was a red omelet?
A rogue omelet. Oh, my God.
A rogue omelet, and I'm reading Rouge.
Okay, yeah.
Thinking that it's red. He's speaking French. I'm so Canadian. I'm so sorry. Can you tell it's late?
Nah.
Oh, so funny. Yeah, the faceless woman has never stopped churning my gut. Yeah. Wasn't her name Leslie? The little girl who was supposed to get set up with Charlie X?
What was her name?
Her name was Leslie, wasn't it?
Not Wesley.
Leslie.
Was it Leslie?
Yeah. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty. For some reason, that's the name that's ringing the bell. But yeah, the faceless woman.
Someone will know.
When he rips her face
that was a different woman, though, wasn't it? I think the other one was the one he turned old. Yeah, the girl that they were trying to set him with is the one he turned old.
Maybe, yeah.
Claude is here.
Hello, Claude.
Wolf in the Fold, that was pretty spooky when Ratchet, his voice. over the intercoms and trying to induce terror in the crew and all that stuff. That was
Well, because
that
you're
was pretty
thinking it's the
spooky.
devil, right?
Right, that was scary stuff.
It was more than Jack the Ripper at that point because they were saying that it was traveling through the galaxy, going from planet to planet. So that's when you realize that could be the devil, or at least that's what you make of it when you're young, like when you're a kid. And certainly in the 70s when I was watching it when I was a kid,
And what wasn't scary was the one that was supposed to be scary, Cat's Paw. There was nothing scary in that one for me.
yeah. Yeah, that was supposed to be the Halloween episode. That
Raquel,
what an epic fail.
Raquel, this is for you from Oliver. Who are your favorite strong alien races in Star Trek films and TV series? Vulcans, Kardashians, Klingons, Romulans, and the Borg were my top five. I don't consider the Borg to be a race, but we've had that argument. But
Yes, and we're going to get into that.
okay, well, who are your favorites? Obviously, some of those I know.
Well, I love Vulcans. Obviously, I absolutely love Vulcanians. But I like all of the various creatures and the various species. I've always thought that it was really interesting. I always thought the Trill were interesting because obviously I like SG-1. I love the Stargate movie. I know a lot of people didn't, but I did. I like that idea where you're like cohabitating the body, but with the Trills, it wasn't due to any type of slavery like it was with SG-1 and Stargate. You know, so I love all of them. I thought the Salt Vampire was cool. Oh, go ahead, Clobby.
Scotty R37 with a Canadian $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Scotty. You're too kind. I really appreciate that. He says, Riker and Worf in the Borg Universe Enterprise. Don't send us back. Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah. That's a good one. That was a little sad and disturbing. Yeah, that's right. Good point,
Yeah.
Scotty. Good one. Good one. I'm with you. I thought that was a bit. That was pretty kind of sad and scary. Yeah, I'm with you there. Good one. Let's see here.
The wigs were scary in Cat's Paw, Clobby. The voices.
The wigs were scary. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Oh dear. So you want to go with the next one now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Star Trek: The 20 Strongest Species ranked from weakest to most powerful.
So it's kind of a dubious title. It's kind of a dubious list. But there is one part that I thought we could riff on and we could have a good time unpacking it. And that,
Okay.
of course, is the section about the Borg. I just scanned it. I was thinking about that Borg issue and the conversation we had and how a lot of people had a lot of strong opinions on it. So, yeah, so that's why this materialized on your show.
Okay. Tribbles.
Tribbles. They're cute, cuddly, and irresistible, but left to their own evolutionary devices, tribbles represent a real threat. These little balls of fur multiply at an exponential rate whilst consuming all available food in the surrounding area, and they do not stop. Ever.
Trouble will be no trouble at all. Let's see here. Hey, Comic Relief Crusader. Welcome. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Hey!
Hope you're well. The Zindi, that low, huh? Well, there are 5 different types of species of Zindi.
There were, yeah.
And a 6th really that went extinct.
Yeah. So they must be talking about the insectoids here, or the
I don't
or
know,
the
'cause
reptilians.
that's pretty low. There were some. The reptilians were some bad mothers.
Yep. I found the makeup to be really good, exceptional actually. I thought, yeah.
They had the aquatics, the reptilians, the avians were the one that died out. Insectoids, humanoids, or whatever. Yeah. So, yeah, I like the aquatics. They were fun. Insectoids were weird. So anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. I'm happy that you're talking about it. Yeah, definitely. I found the reptilians to be really good, and obviously, you know, a lot of people criticize when you start talking about the villain in the rubber suit. But obviously, you know, I enjoy that. I love Swamp Thing. I love the Gorn. I grew up in that time. I love 1950s, 1960s
Arboreals.
movies.
You're right. I forgot one. Arboreals. Thank you.
Yes, the Arboreals. Yeah.
Congratulations, Comic Relief Crusader got hired. That's
Hey!
excellent.
Yay!
Good, sir. Go ahead. Sorry, proceed, son.
Yeah. So the Zindi, just totally cool, and here they make mention of the transdimensional sphere builders.
Yep. Oh, sorry to go back to
Yeah.
Vulcans. Are that low?
Yeah. So
Vulcans never bluff.
sadly,
Hmm.
yeah. So this person writes, Vulcans were the first extraterrestrial species encountered by humans in Star Trek, and with their guidance, rose to become a major player on the galactic stage. They were highly advanced and enlightened. They still carry some holdovers from their more primitive emotional evolution and are not to be trifled with.
There you go.
I think that's pretty low given the strength of Vulcans, which is always downplayed because, of course, they're a very rational, controlled species. But I mean, they're capable of a tremendous violence, and certainly they're also capable of tremendous treachery. But yeah, I think that's a little low.
No problem there, Comic Relief Crusader. We're happy for you. Absolutely. Dave.
Hey,
What's
Dave.
up there, Dave? Good to see you, Dave. The Kardashians.
Yes, the Kardashians. They're on this list. They're ranked 17 out of 20.
Can you see when I do that? You're not reading it off of this, are you?
No,
Okay,
no, I'm reading it off of mine.
I can't see it. Go ahead, but I'll just do that when we get going. I'm fine. Go ahead. Continue.
No problem. Yeah, so Kardashians are a mysterious and militaristic race, notorious for their ruthlessness, and their society is strictly regimented. Banana Republic-style politics and kangaroo courts were a mainstay of the oppressive communist-style regime, and the Kardashians always seem to engage in dangerous mind games against both enemy and friend alike. And yeah, the Taylor. You gotta love the Taylor.
Klingons are low. Are these in any kind of order?
Yeah, this is supposed to be from yeah, believe it or not.
Oh well, there are some very powerful races. I guess that's what they're doing. So go ahead.
Yes.
Raquel,
Scotty says, Raquel, you got to check out Faster Pussycat Kill.
Of course.
I am familiar with Faster Pussycat.
Yeah.
Very, very familiar with them.
Pleasant Valley, what's up, my friend?
Hey, BC!
Hey.
Yeah. And so, yeah, number 16 is the Klingons. I don't understand why they're so low. Next,
I don't know either.
Number 15 is the Romulans.
Gorns are more powerful than the Romulans and the Klingons. I mean, I like me some Gorn just fine, but well, we're just it's Clobby's Clubhouse tonight. There, Comic Relief Crusader. So we're just doing all kind of fun stuff. Whatever, just like anything goes. Right now, we're talking some Trek. Angawoo. Did I say that right? Angawo, welcome. I hope I didn't say that too badly.
You.
Yo, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Welcome, Angawoo. I'll say it that way. I hope I was saying it.
And a little weird that the Romulans that they chose for this list are the Michelin Man style, Max Headroom style Romulans, which I can't stand.
The Gorn are above Romulans and Klingons. I don't know about all that.
Gorn.
I didn't make the list, folks.
No, we did not. We're just merely using it.
It is Screen Rant after all. We're just giving them a little points for actually not having filth on here.
Yes.
And next is the Tholians, huh? Well, they're again so mysterious. We don't know enough about them to put them above Romulans and Klingons, do we?
Yes. Yeah. But I did like the way that that Enterprise treated the Tholians.
Yeah.
I liked the visual, and it certainly, I would say, inspired Andy Weir's new book that I just read. Yeah, it's very, very, very cool. I think the Tholians are a very cool species, and I like what was done with them in Enterprise.
One of the few things we know about them in the 24th century is that one of the Romulan captains owed Cisco a favor. So that means that they hung out with humans in the 24th century, so a little
Yep.
bit.
Yep.
The hero didn't. I don't know about all them.
I don't. I
don't know.
never thought the Hirogen were.
Yeah.
I didn't find them scary or dangerous at all. I thought it was kind of wimpy that that everything they had to do was on the holodeck, even if they took the safeties off. I think that playing a computer is a lot different than playing in real life. So I wouldn't put the Hirogen that high on the list. I would definitely put the
Yeah.
Klingons above the Hirogen.
Indeed. Now okay. Now see the Zalconian, what the Zalconians? Because I can't really read that there. They were the parts of their race. There only a few of them were evolving into that other species, right?
That's right. Transcending into the next level
Right.
of non-corporeal being, whereas the other Zalconians were quasi-telepathic and mostly in in a violent way. So they would cause pain and try and control others, mind control. So, but remember, we're told that they're a very xenophobic race, so they don't really have to do a lot of explaining, right?
Yes, Scotty. GoBot Klingons, the Hirogens. I like that. The Prophets, wow. They didn't put the Kalons on there, which is good. I never liked them. I'm just surprised they're not on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's odd.
The Kalons were Klingons with bad hair.
Yeah. And then the Breen.
The Breen are above the Prophets?
Yeah.
I don't even understand that. I think they're just throwing names out there now.
Yeah. Oh,
the Jem'Hadar are more powerful than the Prophets.
It's really the thing that I find the craziest about this is that you can definitely tell a new fan wrote this article. It's very DS9 heavy and Voyager heavy. This is definitely a younger, a considerably younger fan than you and I are.
I mean, yeah, this is absurd to have. Scotty. I mean, the Prophets are more. I mean, are very powerful. They're up there with, like you said, he's equating them with Q. But apparently, the Jem'Hadar and what's that other one there? The
Zalconians.
The Breen are more powerful.
Or the Breen, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the Changelings. Yeah, I mean, still, I don't know if the Changelings are more powerful than the Prophets. In fact, I know.
Well, not only that, like when they finally fleshed out the Changeling storyline, they're really paper tigers. They, for all the power and their abilities, they didn't really shape up to be all that scary. Sorry, just no Scuba Pete like that one.
All right, who's this? The Nacine.
Mm-hmm.
I may need my memory.
Well, that's just the caretaker
from Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's boring, but all right. Nagilam's boring too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really know how powerful Nagilam is, but this list was wow.
Mulligan. Remember that Nagilam is an anagram for Mulligan.
And also the Borg are more powerful than the Prophets. Okay.
Okay, but we need to read this because this was actually why I wanted to dig into this article. Not only because it's great fodder for people to go, oh, that shouldn't be on there. That should be number blah, blah. People love doing that in their head. That's why I brought the list forward. But
Max, thank you for that. We're going to get to that. And help me remember that. I'm writing it down now.
Okay.
Did you know Marina Sirtis auditioned for the role of Dana Mellenby on Blake 7?
What?
Yes. Hey, Max, we were talking about that last night. I wanted to remember to tell you about that last night and didn't get a chance till Max reminded me. Thank you, Max. But anyway, proceed. All right.
Okay, so the Borg. Okay, so listen to this description. So this really freaked me out. Listen to this description. This is how new fans feel about the Borg and how they envision the Borg. The Borg are a cybernetic collective of humanoids focused on assimilating more species and technology into their society. In doing so, they would expand their biological and technological distinctiveness and advance towards a goal of perfection. They are considered an implacable relentless terror that strikes fear into the hearts of civilizations across the galaxy and are responsible for some of Star Trek's best episodic Borg stories. Once an individual is assimilated, their bodies and minds are reprogrammed to serve the collective hive mind. Physically, they are incredibly strong, but that's nothing compared to their technology. The Borg can analyze any damage they receive and adapt it on the fly, rendering most conventional weapons useless against them. It's a horrifying prospect, especially given their lethal efficiency when it comes to conquering worlds. So let's get into it, Clobby. Let's talk about this. So I take exception with this description of the Borg are a cybernetic collective of humanoids. This sort of is indicative of what's like a choice, that you've got this transhumanism where you have this somebody's consciousness dumped into this form, but that's not what's happening at all. It's more like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. It's more like going to the morgue, chopping up a bunch of bodies and putting it into one form to make it a daemon. And then on top of it being worse than that is that they can't even think for themselves. They have a chip in their head that tells them exactly what to do, and they're not allowed to ever deviate from that. So I thought it was interesting. What do you think of this?
I agree with you. They are human. They're no longer really sentient beings anymore. They've been stripped. I know they were able to fix 7 of 9 and stuff like that, but they've been stripped of that and forced into this collective. They're parts of a machine. They are machines now. Even the people I think they've been turned into organic machines, to be honest. And that collective, they have no free will whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I agree with what you were saying.
I don't understand why newer fans see them as a cybernetic collective of humanoids. That's not what's happened at all. It's people who have been, taken hostage, chopped up, tortured, mutilated, and reformed into something that is completely mind controlled. And people have this opinion that they're a species. They're not a species.
They're not.
No.
Phantom Outsider. Hey, buddy.
Hey, hello, welcome.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I thought that that would be a good talking point, and that we could get into that. But you and I totally agree, and
Yes.
looks like tonight there are fewer people in the chat that are against that. But on Saturday Night Star Trek, a lot of people were making passionate arguments about how the Borg was a species. And I found that
they're not a species. Captain Marty Spock. Hey there, buddy. Good to see you.
Hello.
They are not a species. They are. Well, there are tons. They are a mismatch of many species stolen and sucked into a mechanical collective. But they are not a race. The thing is, people were trying to bring some things about prejudice and bias and racism, in a sense, into part of the argument when we were reviewing the episode Borg. And it was not about that. They are not a legitimate race. They stole a bunch of people from other races and sucked out their identities and controlled them and put them in the hive mind. That's not the same as a race.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm still trying to get my head around it that people see the Borg as a species.
Well, they're sort of doing that on that piece of filth in the filth now with Star Trek P Hard. So
yeah, I think that this is just absolutely bizarre. And what does this say about these people, like their morals and their ethics? So if you took someone hostage and you tortured them and mutilated their body and used them as though they're just merely parts and distributed the parts however you felt necessary, and you did it while that person was conscious, and then you just slapped a bunch of cybernetic implants in them, and then they weren't allowed to think or feel ever again, and they were just told what to do. How does I just
Well, see, Scotty, I don't know if if they could have, we don't know that they've started as a species because they've never said. They just showed up and they're collecting all these other species. And you say they must have. I say maybe, or were they AI and they started out as mechanical contrivances and then started sucking in all these other species. So they may have been created on some planet where by an organic species, but then their AI took over. I don't know. We don't know, and it's never been rectified in canon, has it? I mean, has it ever been put in there, ratified at
No,
all?
no, not that I'm aware of. But
If you count the Trek, if you don't count, and you can't count the Trek books, I like the Shatner Trek books, but they say it's V'ger's planet and stuff. But a point being, Wesley's nanites. Well, it's not the same as the Borg, but
yeah, I just obviously if you're going to travel from like not even within one galaxy, but in multiple galaxies and
right.
so on and so forth, you're going to have to reach out with some type of technology. But even if the seed of the technology, was once some type of alien life form, it still cannot be argued that cobbling together a bunch of chopped up bodies makes a species. I'm pretty sure those people would like their bodies back.
Yeah. Phantom says it's said, he said they did say they started as a species. Well, who? What were they?
Yeah, and who said that? Is this book or is this canon?
From? And by the way, Scotty, I'm with you. I love those. I love the Kirk books, and they said they originated on V'ger's home planet. The Borg come from that, but no, that was the connection from V'ger to the Borg was done in the Shatner, Judith Garfield Reed Stevens books, Kirk books. But I don't remember them ever being said that. And then look, if it would happen in an episode where they ratified it that they were some species, so that, similar to how the Cylons were people and they were turned into machines, then fine, so be it. But I don't remember it ever happening.
But people are speculating on that, and that could be the case from people who have riffed on it to write books, Star Trek books, and that's all fine and good. But the block text that is the original source material for interviewing the writers and production staff, that really was the Borg really came out of, according to the block text, and I believe multiple block texts through the interviews of the writers and creators and producers of the show, was actually from a conspiracy. So they really found that apparently there was a production meeting,
right,
where they were saying that the Borg would be cheaper to render than to try and create of these little creatures crawling in and out of bodies all of the time, and you would have this sort of mother body, and they just thought it was going to be too expensive. And I remember covering it on Saturday Night Star Trek, and the chat was incredulous. They're just like, they all burst out laughing. They were like, can you believe being a part of a production team thinking that somehow the Borg would be cheaper than those little eels that crawled in and out of everyone's bodies, those little beetles, right? From
That's
conspiracy.
True. If that happened in First Contact, I trust you, Kal-El. So if it did, it did. Then I would say they're basically ripping off the Cybermen and the Cylons. I would still say that once they're the Borg means something else. The Borg means a bunch of sentient species, all hodgepodged into one hive mind, and therefore I don't think that qualifies them as a sentient race. A singular, I don't think that qualifies them as a singular sentient race.
Yeah, and I think it's rather horrifying. It would be tantamount to saying that there was a machine that gave a body it took over the instructions to chop up a bunch of bodies and reassemble them, and that's that's not a species. That's not that doesn't make sense to me. And I've never bought the argument from the Star Trek books that the Borg Queen said this or this person wrote that, because we actually know, like we know we have it in writing, we have it confirmed. It's not user-generated information from IMDb or Memory Alpha, from the actual production team, that this was just done for money. They could not redo those creatures from Conspiracy because it just cost too much money, and they really thought that the Borg was going to be cheaper. And then on top of it,
Wow, that's weird.
Jerry Taylor fell in love with this idea of doing this Edward Scissorhands take. Like she said, she actually walked into the story meeting and said, let's make it like Edward Scissorhands. So she wanted that Johnny Depp bluish kind of skin, and wanted, the character Hugh to be very, very much like Johnny Depp in Edward Scissorhands. So I can't buy or even entertain the idea that the Borg are a species.
No, even if they were created by one and got sucked into being one, they're not now for sure. But anyway, some people differ. But I mean, the Borg are cyber salad.
Oh, that's great.
So let's see who else is more powerful, because species 8472.
Yep.
The Dow, they're pretty powerful. Again,
they are.
I know they got Q. What is he, number one?
Yep. They and that makes sense.
Wait. What about the Organians and the Excalbians and the Metrons?
The Metrons are absolutely terrifying. But when you think of them going up against Kevin Uxbridge,
right? The Dow, yeah.
I guess there's a whole category of the non-corporeal beings that are able to control time, space, matter, and energy, and they're really, really super scary.
Yeah. Well, they don't mention, again, they leave out the Excalbians, they leave out the Organians and the Metrons from this list.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what the hell to think of that.
Yep.
Yes, we've solved it, folks. Captain Marty Spock is absolutely correct. The Borg are Porg. They are the Porgs. Let's call them that forever now. Good to see you, Cockney.
Yeah. Well, in Pop Culture Republic, it is bringing up Apollo. Yeah, well,
yeah. Well, that's another one. I mean,
that was the I've always loved that episode because it brings up the idea of seeding, and I think the idea of seeding is very interesting, especially when you start to consider the fact that the Greek gods, that the pantheon of Greek gods could have seeded Earth, or could have retreated from Earth to another planet. And of course, Clobby knows I love the whole idea around seeding.
Max Fresh stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
Kevin Uxbridge versus
Ditka. Jeez.
Isn't that a football guy?
Yeah, Mike Ditka. I don't know. Mike Ditka might beat him. Iron Mike Ditka. Oh, dear. Yeah, but he did remind me of that thing. We were talking about Blake 7 earlier at the beginning of the show, and I'd never read this anywhere, and Max found that out. He said I forgot when he said he was reading it, that Marina Sirtis auditioned for the part of Dana Mellenby, played by Josette Simon.
Gross.
Weird, huh?
Weird.
Who mourns is a great one. I agree, Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not crazy. Wow, I'm glad that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
That'd have been, I don't know. I like Dana the way she is. So
yeah, I just that's very strange because of course Marina originally applied for the Rodriguez part that was actually written off. So it's weird when you think about all the different parts that she applied for, or that she auditioned for. Interesting.
Yeah,
it's very interesting. I didn't know that, but it's just very cool, very cool.
She got one though.
Yes, it's Hernandez. Is it Hernandez or Rodriguez? I always forget.
What?
The original character that they actually wrote out.
I do.
There was going to be a Hernandez or a Rodriguez. I can't remember which one it is. But yeah, she tried out for that part. And I think Scotty knows exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, so it's almost like she tried out for everything. She tried out for Denise Crosby's role as well. Yeah, it was Hernandez. Yeah, thanks, Scotty. Yeah, just so you know, Scotty, Clobby and I don't Google when we're on the show. We just try and use our memories, and sometimes the memory works, and sometimes the memory doesn't work.
In my case, the memory rarely works. These days, my memory is shot, pretty much.
Well, sometimes mine works, and then sometimes I'm like, "Eh, oh yeah."
Oh my God!
What?
Are we Are we ready for the weekly comic book artist report that we've been doing from Tripwire?
Oh no, is it devastating?
Wow. Okay. Hungry Boy, you may not want to hear this, buddy. My friends who are comic book fans, you may not want to. But what there's this site that, I don't know, there's probably as dumb as Screen Rant, really. If they are, Tripwire, I don't know if you're familiar with them, everyone. But about a year or so ago, they started a list of the top 101 all-time greatest comic book artists, and they count down one per week. I did not know about it till a few weeks back when they were down to like 51. So I did a whole stream that I covered 101 down to 51. And then each week on CLOBBY'S Clubhouse, when they get a new entry, I go take a look at it and comment on it, because these people do not know comic book art. We could argue about the Borg all day long and have different opinions, but these people, when I tell you who they got at number 46, oh boy.
Hungry boy, brace yourself, baby, brace yourself.
When I tell you who they got at number 46, there have already been plenty of them that are way too low on this list. There have already been several top 10ers, top 25ers that are already in the the number 70 something, number 50 something, number 90 something. It's a terrible list. Well,
terrible lists abound.
This might be. I can't see them having anything worse than this, other than, well, it's possible. So, wow, I guess I'll just do it. Last week was number 47. They had the great Michael Kaluta. Hey, Marty Spock, if you're still there, your buddy Michael Kaluta was on this list. Great artist. I mean, they had him at 47, a little bit low, but, he didn't have a lot of output, so that's one thing. Now we're on to number 46. Well, Jim Lee was at number 90-something, Scotty. See, these come out each week. So the latest one is 46. So we won't know till every week. Jim Lee was in the 90s. I'm not a Jim Lee fan, so I kind of laughed at that one. But it's bias. I admit it. All right. I don't know what to do. I can't. 46. I'll put it to you like this. 46 belongs in the top 4 or 5, 6. 46, that they've got at 46, is easily in my top 10, probably my top 4 or 5. He's that great. He's that important. He's that fantastic. And they got him at 46. They've already been pretty stupid on this list. I didn't think they could get any stupider this quickly. So who's ready to see it? Who's ready?
We ready.
Are we ready? I warned you. No Umberto Ramos yet, Scotty. If he makes the list now, wow. I don't know if I'd put him on, but now with this list, he probably will. All right, who's ready? All right. I can't believe this. George Perez.
What?
At 46.
Oh, this guy's clearly on some type of drugs. This person is.
He's on crack.
How?
George
That's
Perez,
not
folks.
possible. Who wrote this?
George
this person needs shin kicks.
Freaking Perez at 46. He's in my top 5 all-time favorite artists. I know that's a personal thing, but are you people nuts?
Oh my goodness.
This is moronic at this point. It's already been moronic, by the way. I, George, and he's of course we won't have him much longer. Unfortunately, you all know. But
Did you send him a note? I sent him and his family a note. I hope you did
no,
too.
I don't know if I didn't. Oh, I didn't think about it. Oh, I'm sorry. George Perez, folks. You got to be kidding me. They don't even know how to pick his best art, but still,
I
pieces of
can't
original
believe
art.
it. 46. That is absolutely absurd. That is absurd. To put George Perez at number 46 is absurd. Now I need to know the criteria for this list. We've all
I'll
been
read the.
wondering. They need to reveal it.
Yeah,
They
they
need
won't
to
tell
tell
it,
us.
and they'll probably never tell it. What they did is I don't know. I don't know how. I want to know how the selection process as well, but they won't tell it. No way.
Head desk, head
I
desk,
I, I
head
just
desk.
I can't believe this.
How?
Staggers the
Scuba
imagination.
said someone needs to pull this tripwire.
Yes, unfreaking real.
Unbelievable.
You've got to be shitting me. I just
It's actually shameful. I think that this is actually shameful. Look at that beautiful Superman. That's a beautiful Superman.
it's like they pulled. Yes, Phantom, like they pulled from a hat.
Look at the body composition. Look at his form. Look at Superman. He's beautiful.
40 freaking 6. Well, Pleasant. I'd have to check. I don't know if Manning's on there yet. I like Russ Manning and everything too. I wouldn't mind if he were in, as long as he makes somewhere in the top 100. It's fine. But this, you're talking about one of the greatest comic artists of all time.
Did you see this? What Max said?
I'm not a comic book guy, but I'm guessing that monkeys and dartboards were utilized.
I like what Pop said. The selection process was drawing names out of a hat. I think you already read that, but I just love that Pop said that.
Yep. I guess it must have been. Well, I can't. I don't even know what to say. It's hard
Right,
to get.
Comic Relief Crusader? Yes, his anatomy is gorgeous.
He's one of the greats. One of the all-time greats.
Scuba Pete says, so is number one for them some 2-year-old with crayons? And he puts in
Probably
quotes,
gonna be.
he has real potential. WTF! Superfluous exclamation points.
Outrageous. Just really stupid. I don't know. Sometimes they have another one up there. So I don't know if they have 45 up yet. See if they have 45
I mean,
already.
there's really nothing to say. I mean, you can't even have an argument about that. You can't even be angry because it's so absurd. It's indefensible. Who would you put?
Yep.
What
I'm
other
speechless.
46 people came or 45 people came before George Perez?
Only a few should be anywhere close to before him.
Oh, Scotty says, y'all moved from Trek to comics. My time has been well spent, but I gotta go. Peace and long life. Scotty, I thought you were wonderful. I don't really know you, but I think it's cool. And I love the things that you added here tonight. And I also like the fact that you instantly knew what I was talking about. Whereas most people would be scratching their head wondering what the hell I was saying. And you knew exactly what I was thinking and exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. So thank you for being here. And it was cool to hang out with you. I hope
Thank you,
you'll come
Scotty.
out again.
Thank you, Scotty. Well, you really know your Trek, so I'm very impressed with that, and really appreciate you coming and visiting with us. Oh yeah, it's the clubhouse. That's what we do. We bounce all over the place, from various geek stuff to geek stuff to geek stuff, and so yeah, we do a little Trek, we do a little comics. It's anything goes. So thank you
Just
so
so you
much
know,
for being here.
Scotty, I'm not a geek. I don't know anything about comics. I'm not a geek. I don't know a lot about films and stuff like that. I'm actually a nerd. I'm an academic. And so I'm always talking about Star Trek. And these guys are just teaching me about comics and about geekdom and about films and stuff like that. So if you do like Star Trek, we're always talking about Star Trek. and definitely obscure
love Trek.
stuff that evidently you and I know really well. Um, so yeah, it was cool hanging out with you, and I'm glad you showed up, and I hope you'll show up again.
Wait, who was number one on which Trek list? I already forgot. I don't know who was number one on the Trek list.
Who is number? Oh, Q.
Q, yeah.
And Rathacon Seti Eels,
Well,
which
yeah,
they
there you go.
called
There you go.
earworms, which they called earworms.
Earworms. The real question is, did they pin Kirby? We won't know. Next 40 weeks, I will be yelling at them, though. Jerk offs. I can't look. They've already had Gil. Let me see. They've already had at least 3 or 4 people in my top 10 on this list already. Already. So
That's nuts.
yeah, to hell with them. To hell with them.
Yeah.
To hell with them. So
Yeah, I don't know a
What
lot
you
about
gonna
comics,
do?
but I know
You
a
do
little
know
bit
Perez
about
because we've shown
George
you him.
Perez, and
Yeah.
wow, and his body of work, and I think it's absurd. That's not even an objective number. For him to not even crack the top 20 is absurd. It's that's not even up for debate. That's absurd.
No. Damn shame. What about Nomad? See. What about Nomad? Why do they always diss Kirk's son, the Doctor? I don't know. I'm afraid even I just don't know there, Phantom Outsider. Whoever knows with these people. They just make now again. We have to give them credit for not including filth.
Well,
But
that was a part of the criteria for me. Whenever I'm looking for lists.
Yeah. But I did my what happened to Mark? You seen him?
No.
Where you at? Mark D, where you at, dude? You still busy? If you're too busy, that's cool, man. I'm not gonna bug him, but he said he was gonna be here. Here lies clobbering times. He passed away when his head exploded shortly after reading controversial Screen Rant list. In this case, Tripwire. He will be missed. I don't agree with that last part. I won't be missed. I won't. They'll hit me.
I would miss you. Don't say that.
Well, I wouldn't miss me, would I? Well, I made my new spinner rack list. I got something for you, Raquel. This is one of the comics. Tarzan.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I forgot it from February, so I added it. You know how it says number 207?
Yeah.
You get first DC issue. It was weird because it was Gold Key before that, and DC got the rights for some reason to do Tarzan and retell the story and stuff, and they didn't change the numbering. They kept it at 207. They kept Gold Key's numbering. Weird, wild stuff, huh? But I love that Kubert cover, so I just thought I would look at something fun there. Sorry, everyone.
Gorgeous. But I love the Gold Key. I love Gold Keys. I think Gold Key comics are some of the most beautiful works of art. They're absolutely outstanding.
I didn't have a Gold Key this week. Oh well, we'll have some next week.
Yeah. I love them. They're very, very, very pretty, and I feel honored that I own Gold Keys, Star Trek Gold Keys. I'd like to finish up my collection.
Oh yeah, those fun Gold Key comics, those fun Trek comics there, and we'll pretty soon we'll review that one Trek comic once I'm able to get it to you, Dead of Honor. So I'm sure some people here have read that one. So
I'm excited. I'm excited to read it because I haven't done a lot of like periphery reading in Star Trek. I just haven't. I read the production books. I love reading production books, and of course, I love the films and the television show. That's what I grew up on, and
sure.
And I absolutely love it.
Did you ever read any Trek novels back then? Did you ever read
No.
much with the Trek novels? Really?
No. I wasn't into them, but that's a part of being in academia. Like when, yeah, I had a lot to read, so I studied classics.
I get it.
Comparative literature and a lot of stuff. So I took one class where it was like from the first work of fiction, the Epic of Gilgamesh, all the way to the 17th century. So it's a lot of reading, and it doesn't leave a lot of time for television and film.
There he is.
Hey, sorry, I'm so
Hey!
The agony booth
agony booth. Yep.
for you. You
Opening
missed
the
all kind of
Batwing
fun. Should we?
and
Should
the-
we? What are you doing?
No, I'm just joking. I was rebuilding the Batwing and the Enterprise J. What number are they up to now?
Hey, Matthew Pounder. They're up at 46. Did you see it?
Nope.
You want to know who 46 is? We just got through yelling about it.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, 46 on your comic book list. So who's 46? It was it better not be Jack Kirby.
George Perez, dude.
46?
In my top
That's what
10.
I said.
That's
Everyone-
insane. I mean, that's a top 10er.
Top
we joke
10 or
about
top
saying
5 or
top 10er, but yeah, that's
can you believe
that's
that
obscene.
crap? That's horrible.
Yeah, no, that's insanity. Wow.
Pleasant Valley
That's
Picker,
nuts.
yes. An earworm is a song you can't get out of your mind. It's not a setting eel.
Yeah, true.
Like the Wiggles. Mashed potato. Sorry, I had kids about that age when the Wiggles were popular, really popular. So
So did you get all everything put together? You're all
yeah,
set?
pretty squared away. So looking good, but had to get some stuff done. So I had part of the show listening while I was working, but
That's okay. We thought we'd
yeah.
guilt you into showing up.
yeah. Well, I did hear you
Just a list.
mentioning remakes. So my exception to remakes is if it's a silent picture like Ben-Hur. So that's okay. So when they remade Ben-Hur in the 50s,
Oh, yeah, the Ten Commandments was one as well.
yeah. But yeah, it's few and far. I agree with you guys. Few and far between. It's like come up with something new.
Yeah, I got you. Well, we're talking some Blake 7 at the outset, so but I don't think you're up to
Raquel, did you finish yet or
a little ways to go.
No, Blake 7?
yeah,
have
how
like-
far
I have like 4 episodes left, but I'm dragging my heels because I just don't want it to be over. Because as
Yep.
soon as it's over, I'm going to rewatch it and I'm going to make my list and where I'm going to put them in order of 1 to
how
7.
you like them, yeah.
You gonna rank them like I did? Cool. I want to
I'm
see you
going
rank.
to. I'd like to follow your system, and then if we end up talking about them, then we end up talking about them. But yeah,
Yeah.
Mark, you know that feeling when you're watching something for the very first time, and you know that it's special, and so you don't want it
Yep.
to be over. That's how I'm feeling about this. Like once it's done, then then it's over,
That's it. Yep.
and that sucks.
Well, there's
because
never a first
every
time
day
again,
is
right?
new. Yeah.
Yep. There's never the same, yeah, never the same.
Yeah.
We joke about that Men in Black. Erase your mind, yes, so you don't remember it, and you can enjoy it again. But of course, part of the enjoyment is knowing the show so well too. I'm sure once you get to these shows and you watch Eric Clobby, you want to
They're
read that?
gonna watch it, Eric. They're gonna watch it. They're
Let's see here.
watching it.
Well, I'm watching
I
it so
didn't.
I'm going to watch it just so I
Well-
can enjoy the Red Letter Media takedown.
Filth P. Hard. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat, the great Eric K. I did not watch. Okay, I did. I didn't watch the second one yet because I don't have it, but I watched the first one, and you at least
Well-
you can guess who you have to blame for that. By the way,
Me.
Well,
Guilty as charged. Guilty.
Well-
Guilty.
it's never gonna happen, Eric. I
I
will
want-
never. Ever.
So what you're saying, Eric, is you want to petition Raquel to watch the first season of
never.
Picard?
Will never
No.
happen.
You did watch like the first one, right, or something? Or-
No,
Oh, you never
No,
watched any of Picard?
no.
thought you said you
I saw
watched the
the
first one
trailer
last
and
year.
I saw a 127-year-old man. I think he's 122 or 127. Scotty shouldn't have left the room because he knows all the weird, obscure stuff like I do. Only he has a better memory because he's probably younger than me. But yeah, he's like 122 or 127 years old, flying through the air like 100 feet backwards, like he's in some sort of a video game. What's the video game where it's like all kung fu and martial arts?
like what do you mean, like Mortal Kombat or something?
Yeah. So
Oh, Mortal Kombat's one.
Picard
Yeah.
goes flying like it's more like you're playing Mortal Kombat. It's the dumbest thing. And then I was like, I'm gonna
Oh, yeah.
watch that. Why would I watch that?
Raquel's too pure to watch it.
I love you, Eric.
Do it, suffer with us. No, look, I it was weird. All right, because I've always, I joke about things. I watched the first 8 or 9 or whatever of STD the first season. I just couldn't do it anymore because I decided I didn't want to cover it, and people were covering it. and if you're covering for your channel, I get you. And in fact, I'm glad some people do because I kind of like to watch the videos talking about them. I love watching Doomcock review it and Gary review it, and I liked it when they were reviewing it together and stuff. But with P. Hard, because there was a character coming over from an actual real Trek show, I thought I would watch it. I was a little curious. It's a piece of filth. The first season is absolutely horrible, but still, I've always thought I can sit through any old crap. If it sucks, at least I get to talk about it. But so the first season was bad. It was horrible, and it was just repulsive. And I still walked away feeling like, yeah, whatever. I laughed about it. It didn't ruin my day. It just gave me something to go, what a horrible show. Somehow this new one, the first of the season 2, which is, like you say, Mark, it doesn't have anything particularly as bad as the stuff in that whole first 10 episodes, but by the time it got to the end and Q shows up and does the shit we know he think he's going to do. Actually, when the Borg Queen showed up at the end, I knew it was somehow when I saw
she's one of my favorite redheads too, unfortunately.
But when I saw of course, yeah. When I saw this coming attractions, it says next week. Something snapped in me. And I'm still going to watch this next one probably, but I look at what's coming up and I'm like, I don't know if I can sit through that. I mean, it was shit before, but I'm looking at this, I'm going, that might be unwatchable. They might break me. And I'm going, you know what? I don't need to know that. I don't need to know what's going on that bad. Let everybody else watch it.
What make the show for me?
I still want to watch the second part.
They're going back to the 80s, I guess. So if they enter an episode of T.J. Hooker and William Shatner's on the hood of a car,
are they going to the 80s? They're not going to the 80s.
Or where are they going? The 2020s?
2024.
Oh, they're not even. Oh, they're trying to go present day. Yeah, I totally agree with what you said.
Preach. It's going to be who's the orange bad guy.
So Poopy Stu can wear pajamas on set. He's always wanted that. He wants to show up wearing his little slippers, his little kitten heel slippers with fuzzies on them, and his little PJs, his little Marvel Comics PJs. That's what he wants to wear. He thinks he's too famous.
Take it easy,
to wear
Scuba.
Costumes.
See you, Scuba. Good to see you, brother.
Oh, good night, Scuba. Good night, Leslie.
I think the worst piece of self-indulgent crap that you could tell was Patty Stew in this episode, that first one. In the first season, they had this really kind of hot Romulan babe and her husband that worked at Chateau Picard for him. That were his friends. Well, at the beginning, this new one, they just mentioned they're sitting there. They're sitting kind of all romantic like on his Chateau Picard back
vineyard.
porch or whatever in this vineyard. He and the woman, and they mentioned that the husband died. Why? We know why. Because Patrick Stewart decided he wanted to get a babe. And so you're supposed to believe this kind of hot Romulan babe is in love with 90,000-year-old robot Picard.
Yeah, but he's a 1-year-old android who's fully functional.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you could play with his turkey neck as foreplay. Come on, get out of here.
They don't even try to do anything about, he talks like this the whole time. It's absolutely pathetic, and they don't even try. It's like, I've got my own TV show. They give me money, and it's called Picard. And it's all about me, and I get to have the hot Romulan babe. I'll take it all day long. And he talks like that. He really sounds horrible.
Oh,
Well, it's sad, actually. Yeah, I mean, in terms of, loved him on TNG, as an actor. Originally didn't like him, and you grew to like him. But yeah, it's just his voice. I think I mentioned that in one of the chats or something. It's like, couldn't they have fixed his voice? I mean, God bless the guy. You don't want to pick on someone for getting old, but his voice is shot to hell. I mean, it's just it's gone. And then and what I was trying to say too was what you touched on was some of the elements. If they erase the first season from your mind, which is tough to do, but just do a mind wipe, some of the elements would have been okay if if they'd started it in the Federation and the Borg or back. It's pretty generic stuff. And Picard's on it. They call these aliens want to call Picard, so they bring the old admiral out of retirement, without all the political junk that they touched on. But then as soon as I saw that going back in time, and I hate time travel, Captain Cockney Spock is here and all that, and what it's going to end up being. So the first episode wasn't
preaching,
overtly preachy or over political. And if you'd forgotten all the other crap, and the crewman who murdered someone else and said, "Well, I just got off of it
Got
because
off on
I'm
an insanity plea.
alien insanity."
Yeah, the woman who the girl
Yeah.
who murdered Bruce Maddox got off on an insanity plea. And one of the funniest bits, you can say this is nitpicky if you want. The captain of the Stargazer, who was the captain of the Firefly ship last year, Captain Rios, this
Yep.
former, he's the captain of the Stargazer, and he's got a stogie on the bridge. He's smoking a cigar on the bridge.
It's because they're copying The Expanse. I've seen the pictures, and they're 100% copying The Expanse.
JD.
Oh, that's that's right, Raquel. That makes sense. Yeah,
Sorry,
now that you
JD. We'll
mention it.
stop talking about P Hard. We were just doing it we were just doing it to torture Raquel.
I'm talking about STP Hard. Never mind. Good night, everybody. See you later. Laughing out loud. Yeah, JD Lewis, it's okay.
No, we're
I'm
done.
as disgusted as you are. I have a puke bag, and every time they start talking about it, I hit mute and I puke in the bag. Like just a big barfarama.
Oh, you're right. I'm tired of talking about it anyway. It gives me a headache.
But I'm sure it's going to go downhill. But just the Red Letter Media takedown of that first season was one of the funniest things I've ever watched in my life. So, and unless you'd watched it, so if you put yourself through the torture of watching it, because nothing in the damn thing makes sense. That's what we want in good science fiction: a story that some things you got to suspend disbelief, but other things you want them to make sense or fit within your framework. So, no one in the Star Trek's time, especially even farther in the future, there's no smoking in Star Trek. It doesn't exist. But would have been cute if they had done made it a holographic cigar or something. But they're not even as intelligent enough to have something like that, or just he's just chewing on a holographic one, say.
The hell with that.
They're not even that intelligent. But at least they had some starship. At least they had some starships instead of that terrible ship.
In Greece, they have worry beads. Why not?
Yeah.
And people think that they're rosary, but they actually have nothing to do with being Greek Orthodox. They're just worry beads, and people play different games with them, and they're just to pass the time and to help you when you're nervous or anxious.
Yeah.
Why not do something like that? Why not do introduce worry beads? Pull a Leonard Nimoy and pull something out of someone's culture that regular people aren't aware of, and bring it to light and showcase it in a beautiful way that starts to make the show multicultural. But they have no imagination. I saw the pictures of it, and it just looks like they're trying to copy The Expanse. And
yeah.
But whatever. It's Poopy Stew, and who would watch anything with Poopy Stew in it? After Poopy Stew said, the only way, he told this to Vulture magazine, the only way he would return to make Pee Hard or Puke Hard is if they made it like Logan, if they made it like the Marvel.
Yeah,
that's what he wanted. And so who wants to watch that? I mean, I don't want to watch.
It's too depressing.
Not me.
And after everything that he's revealed about how much he loathed being on TNG, he didn't like Livingston. He didn't like he didn't like the uniform. He didn't want to wear costumes. He got every excuse to be out of costume. Talking about the episodes that he thought were beneath him, and so on and so forth. It's what is there to enjoy in this person? I just think that this person is just, when this person enters a room, he should pass out barf bags.
And how lucky are you to be an adult pretender, as the great Rush Limbaugh would say. I mean, you get to, people complain about how tough Hollywood, come on, I know, I'm sure the people behind the scenes work a lot hard. I mean, not to say that actors, long days, but I mean, there's a lot worse things you could be doing and be able to, make that amount of money and be able to perform. There's not a lot of people who can do it. You got to be extremely talented, but God, I'm sure there's a lot of people that would change places and risk, throwing their back out by wearing that jumpsuit on TNG. So,
and that's not hyperbole. We live in a world where hyperbole rules the day, but Mark is not exaggerating. As I have said multiple times on Saturday Night Star Trek, he complained about the uniform so much. He basically wants to show up wearing PJs wherever he goes. And he actually bitched, whined, and moaned about it so much. He got his chiropractor to write him a note. And so they redesigned his uniform 4 times until they finally arrived at something he could wear. And what resulted? He has to tug on it. And they
Yeah.
call it the Picard tug or whatever, but he's the one who messed the uniform up. He's supposed to be in the military. Look at Archer. Archer looks like he's on a ship in a navy. Like Archer looks like for real. You know what I mean? Like Poopy
Yeah.
Stew does everything he can to remove all of the magic from everything he's a part of, because he was his one big thing was this Marvel thing, and now that's all he wants to do is the Marvel thing. Well, then just keep on doing your Marvel thing, Poopy Stew, and leave my Star Trek alone. It was around before you, it was around after you, and it will be around long after you. Bye.
Yeah, buddy. Well, what can you do? Poopy Stew sucks.
Yeah. Poor uniform he had to wear. It was so yeah, and that's right. That tug is just ruins the look of the. I mean, the uniforms. I think the new ones look a little better, but I mean, every time someone gets out of a chair, they gotta tug their jacket down. It's like,
Yeah.
it looks
And
so
the thing
stupid.
that bothers me the most about that is that that because of Gene Roddenberry's history with military and law enforcement and being involved with NASA and being friends with Isaac Asimov and doing all these things that he did, he knew that not only did it have to have a naval look to it, it had to be a bit like an updated thing that you would see a navalman wearing. It's just that he didn't like it just because it came from Gene Roddenberry, because he had to audition so many times for Gene Roddenberry, because Gene Roddenberry didn't want an old, bald British guy playing a young, a guy with a full head of hair who's French.
Yeah.
French.
On the worst accent ever. As an Englishman doing a French accent, this accent, it just pulls me out every time. But that's minor. But yeah, that wasn't. I mean, I did get to really like him and like the character. But then, I guess too, thank God, Twitter didn't exist back in the day, because so many actors have just, you get so turned off by him. I mean, we had Jane Fonda, back in the day, who everyone knows about what she did during Vietnam, and a lot of people weren't too happy with her. But and some actors, it would be once in a while you'd see certain things, you say, oh, that's just wasn't in your face every 2 seconds, and all the idiotic thoughts that you're just actors. You're not any more. It's more. Your voice, it just happens to have more of a chamber of people listening to them, but doesn't mean you're any more well informed or more intelligent than you're an actor. I mean, remember when they did the Alar and they had the actresses testify on
Meryl
Alar
Streep
and
testifying
Meryl
before
Streep
Congress. Oh, and
yeah.
Sissy Spacek, because they were in farmer movies.
Yeah.
So this has been going on for a while. That was pretty stupid.
Yeah, and this is the thing that I find so maddening is that they are seen as some type of authority because popularity is power. And so it's this, this cult of personality. But if you really look at these people and you look at their histories, many of them never even finished high school. Many of them went to schools for the performing arts. It's not like they studied STEM or even STEAM. And they quit school and they have no post-secondary education, and if they do, their entire post-secondary education is coloring, singing, and pretending. That sounds a lot like kindergarten. Great for you and everything, and I understand that fine arts can be studied in a profoundly beautiful and edifying way, but it just when you're just an actor, I don't you're not going to receive the Pulitzer Prize for Angelina Jolie. Forget it. I can't even. It's just so dumb. It's
just the attention that they get. That's what Mr. Angel and Eric Carroll saying, and it's sometimes they can have good. I guess if I agree with them, maybe I'll. Maybe that's just human nature, but just they're not any more special. I mean, of course, you could, the joke with Ronald Reagan and Back to the Future, where who's president and Doc says Ronald Reagan. It's like, but he's an actor. That's funny. But of course, Reagan spent many years writing books, and it took him 20 or 30 years before he made that transition to politics. So of course, it can be done and doesn't mean it, but just when these actors are, saying idiotic statements and they're just turning off their fans too, or like in comic books where they're, blocking blocking their fans and attacking fans. It's you're here to sell comic books or sell your product. Maybe don't get half of your audience upset.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here saying that all actors are nincompoops, but the vast majority are. They pretend for a living. And I'm certainly not saying that a fine arts degree isn't worth anything. Fine arts studied in is absolutely incredible, and as I said earlier, exceedingly edifying and a very important part of our society. That artisanship, that craftsmanship, that's very important to our society. I'm just not sure that we should be looking to the the vast majority of nincompoops that have nothing between their ears, and unfortunately they're the loudest amongst us.
Yep. Well, they have the
Yes,
echo
they
chamber
are.
or big audience. They naturally, if someone is famous comes out and takes a position, and sometimes they can do it for good too. I mean, I guess look at the civil rights movement in the '60s. So I guess I shouldn't knock all of it, but just some of the what is John Luke had to put, yeah, but some of the just some of the idiotic stuff and just the over the top and the self indulgence. That's what I think people in the chat are getting at too. Just
Yeah, it's just so much self-stroking. It's like onanism run amok, and it's in public. Just stop that, doing that in public. And the mystique around the character, I think, is hysterical. Like whenever you go and you meet the casting and crew and so on and so forth in real life, they're always like, "I'm a Shakespearean actor." No, you are a relatively unknown actor. I don't know if you ever did Shakespeare or not, but you certainly weren't famous for that. If you pick up any newspaper from that time, as I read on the Clubhouse last week, no one had heard of him. He was a completely unknown actor. He certainly wasn't known for Shakespeare, and he did a lot of like B-rate like science fiction and stuff where people were like, "Oh, that's Patrick Stewart. I didn't know he was in this awful movie." And so it's like I just think he pumps his own tires a little too much, and he's totally turned me off. And I will never, ever, ever watch Poopy Stew in Puke Hard. It will never happen. There will be no Pee Hard in my house.
I was a Shakespearean actor in grammar school. Does that count?
Yes, it does. Do you want to wear
Right.
your Marvel pajamas to work as well?
Yeah, they're underoos. Yeah,
Underoos.
underoos. Yeah.
Like imagine like bitching about that. Like it blows me away when I think about how many real Shakespearean actors had to wear a corset, and they would have to wear a male corset, and they would have to wear multiple layers of costuming, and they would be incredibly hot. And you think about the wigs and the makeup, and you think about what Michael Dorn had to endure. You think about what Brent Spiner had to endure. I mean, it's not like contacts were as advanced as they are today, and he was wearing those contacts over his eyes, and they got into the character and wanted to create something special to suspend that belief, to create that imagination, facilitate that imagination, and create a perfect, beautiful little space. And here he is not wanting to wear a very typical looking military style uniform, very typical of the Navy. Your local mechanic probably wears those coveralls. I know when I worked in gas stations when I was young, I wore those coveralls for safety reasons. Um, and yeah, why are you whining about that? You're pretending. Imagine being Michael Dorn, where you got to sit in a makeup chair. Stop complaining. Just
Yes.
stop. Just shut up and enjoy your job. You're a multi-millionaire, and
Yeah.
and you pretend for a living. Think about all the people who write beautiful stories, write beautiful plays. People who work their whole lives who are wonderful musicians, painters, uh, you name it, and they'll never be discovered. Just be grateful. He's just so ungrateful. It's sickening.
It really is. They're not grateful. And anyone here ever see the film The Wizard of Speed and Time? Is anyone familiar with that?
Nope.
No.
Wow. Some of you out there have probably heard of it. Mike Jitlove. This guy made a film. You don't hear much about him anymore, but it's such a brilliant commentary on Hollywood and the way it eats people up and the way it destroys creativity. This is a guy, someone in the chat's got to have heard of it. It was from the late 70s, early 80s. They finally made the film around the mid 80s. I mean, the early 80s. It came on VHS. It only played in the theater for like 2 days or whatever. This guy was a special effects guy named Mike Jitlove, and he was trying to break into the business. Phantom, you've heard of it, Phantom, and this movie. Oh, what's the lady's name, by the way? Plays Shauna in Games to Try Skillion. She's actually in the movie.
Ooh,
But
She's gorgeous too. Yep.
he went to make a couple of. He kept trying to break into the business and work for these different companies, and what they put you through, he just couldn't fall in line with it. And so, in the late 70s, he did a couple of really amazing special effects films using stop motion, no CGI crap. This guy was a genius with special effects, and eventually he got his movie made that was called The Wizard of Speed and Time, where it was so someone's heard of it then. Good. That was a brilliant commentary on what Hollywood was like and the way it stifles creativity. And that's a guy, you just got to see it. It's very low budget, but his effect sequences are all done with real work, and he throws a bunch of that stuff in there. It's sort of a spoofing. He plays himself in the movie, but it's sort of a big broad spoof of Hollywood, and you got to watch the amazing ways he creates effects and stuff. You're aware of it, Hunger Boy. In fact, you got to see just the one little bit of the film where the stop motion, where he creates for the climax of the film of himself running around the world like at super speed, dressed as the Wizard of Speed and Time. It is one of the most uplifting, brilliant, beautiful things I've ever seen. And when you watch it, especially now, knowing how much work had to go into it, that he didn't have any CGI, he had none of that stuff. It's just, I'm tempted to show it right now, because what the hell? Just the running part. I'm almost tempted to show it. It's inspiring, but we get in trouble. Even though
he's kind of he's got like a flash type powers, I guess.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
Just in that scene, the whole movie's just about him about how ridiculous the Hollywood system is, and all he pokes fun at all these unions and stuff, and the way they treat people.
And the formulaic writing,
having
taken writing in university, there are many authors that people who want to be writers, where they enter those classes where they look at the screenwriting formula and they take that to heart, and that's what they create. And then they go into these writing hives where there's a psychologist, a marketing person, and writers there, and they work out what the corporation wants. And Stephen Hawking talked about it in his final book, just how much writing has changed and how there's so much of it out there that the good stuff, you can't even get to the good stuff. Many books that we have that we consider some of our greatest works, no one would have even read them if they were published in our time. And that's really scary.
Yeah, they released it on it took them 5 years to get made. They released a 1989 video of it on VHS. It only played like 5 days in the theater. And the guy who helped him get the movie made ended up being true to he played a villain in the film. And later, Mike Jitlove said he was true to his life, true to his film character, because he screwed him out of the rights and screwed him over for the movie too.
Oh God.
I think he got out of Hollywood. This guy, the imagination extraordinary. There's a bit, and there's like this one great dream sequence where he's in his voiceover for it. He's talking about how lamenting all of the movies and all the things that will never be made because of this stupid, horrible, morally bankrupt Hollywood system and all, just, and of course there's so much Star Trek reference in here, so many comic references in here. Wow, there's a DVD. Oh no, really?
It's on
I gotta have
DVD
it.
now.
No, that's the soundtrack. Great music in it, by the way. I love this movie.
Yeah.
Live in the Wizard of Speed and Time.
Added on my
And the
list
stop
of
motion
movies
is
to
incredible.
watch.
Can we just can we go back on that for a second?
This one?
Yeah. So we'll just go back one.
One more time.
Just some folks in the chat are really excited about this. They want to watch it. So I guess
You can find it on YouTube.
The Wizard of Speed
and
Time, Chef. The Wizard of Speed and Time.
Yes, it's on YouTube. I believe it's still up on there, and you can find all kind of like that. You can find that last 6 or 7, 8 minute final sequence where he runs around the world. I mean, if that doesn't get you pumped up and feeling good, because this guy did it in his damn garage, and he makes it like he runs around the entire world. And you might go, "Oh yeah, modern CGI can do all this other kind of." This guy did it with nothing, and it's ingenious. Yes, it is on YouTube.
Yeah,
if you ever get a chance.
By this Chef, our friend in BC, Pleasant Valley Picker. Clubby, what's the year again? I'm sorry, Captain. Can you give me that year again, just for everyone?
I think it finally came out on tape, on VHS around '89.
Okay.
And he also had there's some other short films by him where he made this short video that played on ABC Wonderful World or the Wonderful World of Disney or something called Mad About the Mouse, where he gets all these tons and tons of Mickey Mouse toys and memorabilia and makes it all dance around and stuff, which is just unreal. His stop motion, this guy could have been Harryhausen. But he just, he hated Hollywood. The Hollywood system by then had been just tainted. So the movie's a goofy, spoof, kind of just showing how
Tubbs
bad
is in
Hollywood
it from
Tubbs is in it from Miami Vice. I don't know how he got
Vice,
that guy.
What?
This was years before that, though. It just took forever to come out on tape. Yeah. And the lady, like I said, the lady from the Gamesters of Triskelion, for some reason, is in it. And that's him. He's in his own movie, Mike Chitlov. And he used to go to cons and stuff. Just, this scene, I cannot get enough. I might go later just to cheer myself up. I watched some of these scenes here where, he's singing with the animated tin cans and stuff, film cans. And they show how he shot that. And then when he's running around the world.
I'm watching that now. Yes.
Are you watching it? It's
well done.
It's
pretty well done.
Isn't it amazing for a guy that had nothing? I mean, no budget. And it was just all imagination, man. And the music.
Some of the best.
Was incredible.
Of course, I have the music, the sound up, but some of the best stuff is made, low budget or by innovators or, we're talking about Disney, Walt Disney was an innovator, and that was the first. When he did, Steamboat Willie, that was the soundtrack was first talking cartoon and was synchronized to the to the actions of Mickey Mouse. Back then it was and Snow White was a technological feat to make that movie, and it was done all creating all that tech to make animated cartoons is fantastic. And then just someone like this who's a shoestring budget, but it actually looks better than some of the stuff that comes out today. So it's amazing what you can do with intelligence and creativity and without a huge budget. It's pretty amazing.
It will never be on DVD, I guess.
Well, I guess maybe some people might. You could get it maybe sometimes from some of those whoever has the rights to it, I guess. But sometimes they have different companies get the rights and do those, made to order DVDs kind of stuff. Yeah.
Great movie. Just weird off the wall stuff. And again, I guess he just got sick of fighting Hollywood. I mean, he did other stuff here and there. There's a bit in the movie where he talked about how he tried to get on to work for the network for this Dr. Magic TV special, which was basically the Doctor Strange. Remember the old TV movie Doctor Strange they did?
Yep.
He tried
the
to get on
70s,
for
yep.
that in the scene when he goes to audition for that, and he says, and right when they automatically ask him, he goes, "Well, you see, I've set this up here for." He was trying to audition with this scene in the comic books. Doctor Magic. He goes, "Wait, we're not." And the bitch automatically goes, "We're not using any comic book junk. We're rewriting. We hire professional writers. We're rewriting it all." She goes, "But it's one of the most famous comics for years." And she goes, you know, wow, how Hollywood does that sound?
Yeah, why do we need to take the the work of the original creators that are so amazing, right? Let's let's just
Yeah.
The
rewrite
thing
everything.
is that with like at the same time, they can't write without the original source material. They can't write without it.
True,
No,
yeah.
but they
Look at
don't
all the
respect
Marvel
it either.
movies. Yeah, they're all Marvel comics, right? They're all based on, they change things up, but it's all
Stephen
there's
Ernest.
nothing original in them, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's exactly it. Like they're willing to crap all over them and just say, everything that's wrong with them and all the things they want to change and all the things they want to improve and all the things they want to, they're going to innovate, they're going to reboot, they're going to rehash, they're going to redo it. But, and so they're so willing to crap on it, but they've written nothing themselves.
No, but they know that yours isn't good enough. That's all. They know
Yeah.
that they have to redo it, but I'm going. Wait a minute, this was successful before. What's the comic book? But it's no, it's just so sick.
What
Yeah.
do those writers know? What does Kirby
Yeah.
know, right?
Yeah,
What does Alan Moore know? Yeah.
no. Yeah, they
Pop.
Oh, Animalio's on there. What if I could show?
Unless
What
you're
if I-
Disney. Source material? What source material? Here's Star Wars, by the way.
If I show one without
Yeah.
sound, you think I could I'll get in trouble?
Well, you could probably show like 10 seconds or something. I wouldn't show more than that because then you never know. I don't know who owns the rights to this.
I don't
mean,
know.
it's
I don't
on
think anybody owns
just because
it.
it's on YouTube doesn't mean it's there's no rights holder, so you never know. But I mean, I put the link in if people want.
Nobody actually owns this one.
Yeah.
This is anyway. I'll find some links to put up there. But let's see here. All About the Mouse. That's the one. Mike Jitlove, 1978. The Collector. That's the one. It was in some special called All About the Mouse. Amazing what he does with the Mickey Mouse toys.
Some stop motion. Yep.
Yeah, all stop
Hungry
motion.
Boy. They're going to re-poop all over them.
Yeah. So he was just unreal. So, yeah. That was showed on The Wonderful World of Disney.
Wow.
I think so. I guess Disney may own it, but I don't know. People are just putting it all over YouTube. And so I only show a minute of it here. I'm the Wizard of Speed and Time. Let's see. So at least a few people knew about it, at least then. Knew about him.
Never heard of it, so it's great to
It's
learn
weird
this stuff. Yep.
Yeah, you're better off not. It's all heartbreaking, really, when you think about it. Because it's very sad because this guy was too talented for Hollywood, I guess.
Oh, yes, that is a very dangerous visual.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's just a picture. It's just a freeze frame, though. That
It is. It is.
I'll cut it off in a second. See. I'll fast forward a little bit.
And
Can
it
you see
has
it?
no
You all see
volume,
that?
and we're talking over it because we are using it to criticize it. We're critiquing it. We are trying to
I'll just show
exemplify
a few
fair
bits.
use.
A few bits.
Oh, there's so much. So
You never
much.
have too many Mickey Mouses. It looks like. Yep.
Yep. So much to set the algorithm off.
Is there? Even if I'm fast forwarding it?
No, it's okay. It should be all right. I mean, yeah.
That's why I'm zapping pieces of it. There you go.
There.
That's cool. Yep.
Don't worry, everyone. I didn't show it. See, so they can't do anything to me. I didn't show it, and I had the sound off. Why, you think I can get in trouble? Oh well,
No,
I've already
You
been
never. You
demonetized.
should be, but just that's. I'm more cautious than you need to be. Sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
you never know. You never know these
Well, I
days,
got
right?
demonetized for what I did for the Superman show,
hmm
but I cut it out.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is they demonetize you, and then they say, but they give you this thing. You could easily, if you just press here, we could cut it out for you.
Yeah.
What did
So
they get you for showing one of the clips or one of the sound effects or?
remember I showed the opening, the beginning, ending, the ending clip with the
Oh,
warden saying, "This country is safe against Superman, thanks
yeah,
to you."
yeah. So you can just clip. Yeah, they say clip it out, right? And then and
hmm
that short little clip they got you for, or?
Yeah, it was a couple of seconds. I mean, but I had the sound though. This one, I didn't even have the sound on
Yeah,
this one. That's probably because I had the sound on and I played it for maybe like 20 something seconds or
yeah, yeah.
30
Because
seconds or
I've been
something like that.
posting all
Maybe.
those clips, you know, from that I've been clipping for Star Trek and Worf, and I think if it's under 10 seconds, normally you're okay. I mean, there's no hard and fast rule, but
No, there is
you know,
not.
so
Yeah.
it just
Oh
depends on
well,
the right holder. But
I
you
don't think
know,
hmm
anybody even owns these, so that's not like
yeah,
Paramount or even. In fact, I don't know. Who cares?
yeah, it's all right. Yeah,
I don't know. It just got weird. I just
hmm
got weird and had to see him. I miss him. And
very
again, that's the
talented.
guy that got chased out by Hollywood because he was too couldn't. The system was too constrictive for him. Really.
Well, with copyright, you're really looking at time, but time isn't a set amount, right? And
Yeah,
then you're also looking at, I always use the term in text to demonstrate that you have to have the reference. And then of course you also have to have transformation. So there has to be a complete transformation of the material in order for it to qualify for fair use. But remember, fair use is always trumped, even for educational purposes, even if you're going to critique it, it can always be trumped if the copyright holder specifically requests it. So, fair use isn't quite what people think it is. You have to have that time, so you can't show the whole thing, and you can't show too much of it, and that could be any time. You can't say 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. It
Right.
doesn't matter. It's really like the key information or key shots that they don't want shown, or that are worth money to them, or that they consider, you're sullying the reputation of the brand or whatever. And then, of course, that transformation, right? They're looking for that transformation.
Oh well, what are you gonna do? At least we're getting more people into Blake Seven. That's all that really counts.
yep.
I
Yay!
I was looking at Twitter a little earlier, and there's this. I guess because of I follow a lot of people and they follow a lot of me because of the show and stuff like that. And I just get connected to these different Doctor Who fans of different types and stuff like that. And some of them I don't even really know, other than they follow a lot of the same people as I do. So like Noel and stuff, Doctor Who fans, and some of them are fairly young. I just saw one earlier. I mean, young girl could be like 24 or whatever. Excited as this could be, she just started watching Blake Seven and loves it. She loves old
Wow.
classic Doctor Who, not really so much new ones. She loves Peter Davison, and she loves Tom Baker. And I'm going again. I'm just saying, to me that's something, because I'm like, these young kids aren't not usually the ones you think would watch something like that.
hmm
But you can't judge everybody, and you never know. Some people can. Clearly, she can. She's loving it, and I'm like, wow, that always makes me feel good. That and that makes me a little less, cynical about the younger people. At least some of them can watch this stuff and make the adjustment necessary, that it doesn't have all these modern effects and all this other type of stuff. So that's when I see that, I feel good. I'm going, that's nice. I'm not saying it's an epidemic. It should be, but it's not. But I've seen it happen a few times on Twitter with some of these
That's
people.
unfortunately more the exception than the. I wish it was.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is.
Unfortunate, but it's great to see someone that like our buddy Ash. We got him watching some of the old stuff, and he started by watching the new stuff, and of course we were teasing him about it, but then you get him to watch the old
Yeah,
original stuff too. But for a lot of people, that's the first Star Wars they saw was the prequels. Not always, but that may have been the first movies that they saw. Say their parents weren't into Star Wars and they went to see it, that's that could have been their first movies. Yeah.
And and again, young guy like Ash, what is he, 21 or something? But he does like the original Trek. There are a lot of people in that age bracket that might not take a look at it and give it a shot.
Car?
She does, yeah. Again, people like that. So whenever I see a young person, liking something like that, and giving just giving something a chance and enjoying it, it does. I like seeing that.
Yep.
Not saying that you should go out and get a lot of hope or anything. I'm just saying that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that people can appreciate the old classic stuff, even and that the new Who was so fantastic. The new Doctor Who, and it's just so well done. And then I'm sure some people went back and tried to find look into watching some of the older episodes. Although the special effects, it's tough to transition, but it's not for everyone. But the great stories, if you can get by that or just suspend disbelief like we did in the 70s and 80s, then it's some great stuff, great stories to watch.
Yep, it is. And that's the case with old Doctor Who now too. Some of them are liking to watch some old Doctor Who's, and since I've been watching a lot of Blake 7 recently, just also been going back and watching a lot of old Doctor Who because new stuff depresses me these days. Seems like.
Yeah, unfortunately, but we did get some, Next Generation. We're talking about that, and I know we're not going to talk about Saturday's episodes, but I will just say, of course, Relics is one of my favorite all-time episodes. That's no spoilers, right? But
yeah, that's not a spoiler.
I mean, we did get some great.
I love it.
Yeah, that's no shock and surprise, but we did get some great, TNG episodes, and originally, like, are we going to get anything good out of this show? So, but that's one of my, all-time favorite episodes. Obviously, no big surprise there. But yeah, Scotty is just so great in that episode, and it just makes you just when you have an old that classic character returning to some new IP. It's just maybe a little fan service, but God, it's so good, and it was a fun. Won't talk about it now, but it was a fun fun episode for obvious
he was
reasons.
pretty upset. He was as upset as Mark Lenard. He felt, that they should have passed the torch and should have done it gradually. And there should have been a lot of opportunities for TOS to transition into TNG. And to close the chapter on it was a mistake. Jimmy said that.
Yeah.
And there's film of him saying that in the film commentary. When he starts talking about TNG, he starts talking about the fact that he hopes that there will be room for that transition and that there will be an ongoing relationship there. And obviously we know there was no ongoing relationship there. So yeah, it's really sad. And Mark Lenard called it cheap or chintzy. They did the same thing to him. They killed off his star. So,
killed off
that's
Star.
it's unfortunate, but they definitely had the impression that legacy could endure and that there would be some overlap there, and that it would be great fun to pass the torch in that way, in that overlap, and we didn't get it. So, yeah, I think it was a missed opportunity.
Oh, and boy, that show seems to have a lot of those. Oh, so many. And by the way, Pleasant Valley Picker, Blake 7 is on Amazon's BritBox if you have that where you are.
No, yeah.
What?
Pleasant Valley Picker. Yeah, you're gonna. I don't know if you can get the BritBox and the Fire TV, but where can you get BritBox from?
Amazon. Yes, it doesn't have Amazon.
Oh, you can get it through Amazon. Depends on what country you're on, but if you're in the States, I know you can get it through Amazon, or you could just get it separately. I think it ends up costing the same.
No,
Canada doesn't have BritBox?
No, well, it has BritBox, but you have to go looking for it. Go looking for BritBox on Fire TV. Do you have Fire TV? But yeah, you can't get Blake 7 on Amazon in Canada.
Oh,
not even in British Columbia. I don't think so.
Oh,
I
okay.
have BritBox right now, Pleasant Valley Picker, and I'm watching it through BritBox right now.
So I'm saying you have BritBox, so he should be able to get it, right or wrong?
Yeah. I'm just gonna cancel it after my
Yeah, you're almost
after
there.
after my free trial. You can do it with a free trial.
That's what I'm saying. Since you have BritBox, I was assuming he could get it too, right?
Yeah. I was just wondering if how he would access the BritBox. But
But he's
yeah.
Well, you can get it on your computer, your laptop, your
Oh.
iPad.
Yeah. But
Yep.
I'm thinking of like a Canadian. What Canadian would probably want to watch it on TV and stuff like that. So I'm thinking how he would search.
Well,
for it.
Roku, Roku device,
Yeah.
Apple
Would
TV.
Roku have it? I don't know.
Yeah, because you can add the app. Yeah, because I watch BritBox on my Roku. Yep.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's not. Canada doesn't really work like that. Things aren't quite the same. We have different Amazon. We have different Netflix. We have different everything up here. So
Mm.
yeah, I found. Hold on.
My,
That's
I-
my
actually
guess
don't-
would be able to load the app on a Roku device if you had it.
weird.
Let me
But,
just check for him.
But you guys are like in another galaxy or universe once
Right.
you cross that line. So
Well,
yeah.
we also have cultural laws here, right? So we have CanCon laws here and Maple laws and things like that. So
Well, my bad. I thought BritBox was a part of an extra extended service of Amazon.
Well, they do have a deal with BritBox to put, so you can pay for it through Amazon, basically.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
Is it-
and then it becomes part of. It's like part of.
Here it's
You
on
have to pay
Amazon,
for
yeah.
it. It's like an add-on, yeah. But I get it separately, but you can also do it through Amazon, but it costs the same. So it's
Hey!
like 601.
Dalek 541. Good to see you. He says BritBox is run by BBC and ITV, not Amazon. So just like what you were just saying, basically. Sorry.
Yeah, they just have a deal with them to like you can
Right.
pay for it and get it. Just so you don't have to pay it, have a
I
separate
gotcha.
account or whatever. Yeah.
There's an American account saying that you can watch BritBox directly on Roku. If
Okay.
you're looking to get a British television BritBox, you must have blah 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 blah. But it's not .ca. So Pleasant Valley Picker, yeah, of course, Pleasant Valley Picker. The Americans, they don't understand how much money it costs here to do that. But yeah,
No, we don't.
Pleasant
Sorry,
Valley
yeah.
Picker says, I do not have the money to subscribe. I'm a poor senior, can't afford. Yeah, and it's so funny. Hey,
Sorry there, man.
BC, because they've made us all these promises with these streaming services, but these streaming services cost as much as it used to cost us for all the cable. As a matter of fact, more. So I feel bad.
But
I'm
yeah,
not
you
even
can end up.
going to cancel
you
my
can end
TV.
up, yeah.
Sorry.
Well, it is
about
on
that.
Daily Motion. You can find some of the episodes on Daily Motion and
Mhm.
YouTube, but not, just
I think
use the
Daily
power of the
Motion may still have them all.
Yeah.
YouTube had them taken down, and the people keep putting certain episodes back up on YouTube.
Mhm.
I think not 100%, but they, at least Daily Motion used to have them all. So I'm
What
sorry to hear
about-
about that, Pleasant.
What about archive.org? Has anybody
Yeah,
tried?
they
Oh,
had. I
yeah.
saw a few episodes there. Yeah, Internet Archive. Yeah,
A few?
Yep.
Or?
Yeah, but then I just said, let me sign up for BritBox because they had the free
Yeah.
1 month trial. So it's just it's easier. So like you could do that for the 1 month and then just cancel it, or if
Yeah.
you think about it, you could watch the whole series for $5, even if it takes you 2 months, right, or $7, whatever the heck it. Which is which is a good deal, right?
I'm glad I got
So-
I'm glad I have my burn discs of them, but I wish they would just do an American set.
Yeah,
and
because you
then-
go to buy them and it's like $80 to buy the damn.
I have
damn thing.
I have some Region 2 sets that I bought. They weren't all that great. They kept coming kind of. I bought many years ago. I bought a Region 2 player just so I could get Blake 7. Then I had to find various things on eBay to get each season from different eBay sellers and all this other stuff. The match sets didn't match up that well, and they weren't always the best copies. I mean, they were good copies. They were pre-recorded, but they were just DVDs. But they were just, I don't know. Sometimes they didn't play well on that stupid Region 2 player I had. So
Yeah.
I don't know what I did with that thing.
How many episodes of Blake 7 are there again?
52. I still have every VHS.
Okay, and Pleasant Valley Picker, yeah, I kind of knew that you have none of the streaming things. I did see some of it on archive.org. Go to archive.org and look up a guy named Jason McLaughlin, or Jace 1969. He's been putting them up under the attribution non-commercial share alike 4.0 international copyright regulation or rule. But yeah, you can get it there. So go to archive.org and you can type in Blake 7, use the number 7, and look for a fellow by the name of Jason McLaughlin. He even on here you can even download it. So you could download it if you know how to open a zip file. If you have a Mac, it'll automatically unzip for you if you double click on it. But yeah, and keep me posted on that, and maybe we'll try and hunt down all the episodes for you. Really sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks being Canadian sometimes. I try to explain this to all the Americans; they don't get it. They don't get why it's so difficult for us to get things and why things are so expensive. It's why we just love streaming with them and hearing all these different movies and TV shows that we can't watch. So just love it. And Pleasant Valley Picker, keep me posted on that. But go to archive.org, please.
Yeah, if you keep searching enough, hopefully you can find it.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
hope
easy,
so.
but- yeah, because it's an obscure
5
show.
episodes
So
there.
Yeah, I hope so. Eric Carroll, I think a PC does play any region, but I don't like. I like to watch them on TV, but yeah, I think it does though. Yeah, so
yeah,
But-
if you have an Xbox or a PlayStation,
yeah, Xbox
this
does, I believe. I have,
Yeah.
I don't have that, but a PlayStation does play Blu-rays, and I don't know if they haven't even done. I don't think they've even done a Blu-ray over in UK of Blake 7 yet.
Probably not. I mean, the quality on the BritBox looks pretty good. When
It
I
is
watch
good.
Let's
And
just hope that, look at here what's happening in the chat. So Hungry Boy found some, and I hope he's not blacked out of it. Like, I hope it doesn't say this country is blocked when you go to click on it. But you let us know, and it'd be so great if you could watch Blake 7. Isn't Clobby great? Pleasant Valley Picker.
No,
I
I'm
just
not.
absolutely love him, and I love all these cool
No.
shows and all this obscure stuff. I just love it. Have you seen The Prisoner yet? Pleasant Valley Picker, you need to watch that one as well. There are reasons why I love Clobby so much. He likes really smart, fun stuff. I really like his taste in science fiction is really good.
Blush. You shouldn't have. Stop that.
Well, you have to pretend
Thank
like
you.
you're not here while I'm talking about you.
Okay.
Oh,
I
I
will.
think derivative Jill just walked through the door.
Jill,
Hey, Joe.
the DVDs, you'd have to have a Region 2 player, Jill, because it's not on DVD. Now, like I said, when those new sets or those, relatively newer sets came out, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was, a buddy of mine ripped real nice copies of the DVD sets with all the features and all that stuff. Well, and so I have them that way, but when I get lazy, I just put it on like BritBox. I don't now, but I mean, when we were on YouTube, I used to watch them on there and stuff. But yes, they're now because of again. Do you have Amazon and BritBox, Jill? We were just talking about that before you came in. That's the easiest way to get it now. What's weird is BritBox here in the States is different from BritBox even in UK because Blake 7 for 4, 5, 6 months was not on here when it was over there.
Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely true. I love that you know that. Yeah, it's a nightmare for us in Canada. The whole thing's a nightmare for us.
Well, it wasn't just that. What's weird though? No, good. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I
was
just
gonna
love
say-
that you know this.
Well, about a year ago, when they first put a little bit before they were talking about putting Blake 7 on BritBox for UK, and not here. Problem being, my buddy Probby asked me. He said, "Well, there's some shows that you have in American BritBox that we don't even have over here." So, what do you mean? And he loves a show called "Are You Being Served?" That's a famous show. We had it all. We have it all here. They didn't have that on the UK for the longest time. I don't know if he finally got it. So, but I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, because originally he was mentioning it, and problem being, and I did the trial, and I signed up, and I'm like, well, where's Blake 7? Because that's what I
wasn't
want
there.
to watch. And then they finally added it, later.
It's like I think if you have Amazon, it's another $5-something a month. But once you get done watching it, you get the free trial. Maybe I don't know I guess you could always just cut it down. because I don't really use it much. It's got classic Doctor Who on there, and sometimes, even though I have a lot of them, it's kind of just go in there and grab one and watch it. And now that's got Blake 7 on there, it's kind of cool to see it on there, even though
Well, now they're saying Britbox trial on Prime. Yeah, I'm looking for it. The DVD on Amazon is $66.
I beg your pardon, Mark. This is what Canadians face. This is what I'm talking about. Cable is so expensive. Shaw, that's the provider up here for local people, costs me $195 a month, and this is for him just to have internet, basic TV. So that's him with his local channel, knowing whether or not there's like a tornado or some terrible storm, and then phone. And that's all he gets. So that there are no tiers. There's no like cable or anything after that. So it could be quite a lot of money. And then each one of these things, they before Shaw used to have a la carte, and you could buy these different tiers. But now they're moving to the streaming, and it seems like it's just as expensive, if not more expensive. So I feel you, Pleasant Valley picker. I totally feel you. And it's not because it's like, oh, I don't want to pay $5. I don't want to pay $10. It's because if you're really watching everything that all these Americans are talking about all the time on all these streams, it would cost easily $300, maybe $350 a month to watch all these shows these Americans are watching. So don't sweat it. There are other Canadians that are here with you that realize that. And it sucks sometimes, but, we're here. And we know what you're going through. The Americans have so much access to so many wonderful things, and it's so much cheaper for them. So it's a little maddening, but you're not alone, okay?
But it looks like the first episode's on YouTube, though.
Yeah, that's what Hungry Boy was just doing. Hungry Boy was sending them the URLs for I think Hungry Boy was sending it. That's what I saw in the chat.
It looks like, The Way Back, which is the first episode, everybody, is on YouTube.
For now.
Great. I think it's a watchable copy. I'm looking at bits and pieces of it now. It's a watchable copy.
Yeah, Hungry Boy. You have a choice, Canadians. Food or entertainment. Yeah, it's pretty much that expensive.
Moved to the US, yep. Yeah, so you can get BritBox through Amazon for $7 a month. I think that's what it costs to get it separately. So but the seasons are $30 each, region 2, or then there's one seller that has it all 4 seasons or 4 series, of say, in Britain for $66. So which is actually the cheapest it's been in a while, actually $66.
Let me see what it's
but that's region 2, and that's US, obviously US.
Well,
US
problem is you don't want to watch the first episode without seeing at least 2 and 3, and they're not on there.
Yeah,
because you don't know.
It's $76 for Blake 7 in Canada.
You mean the set for the whole complete series?
Yeah, it's $76.
That's not too bad, really, as far as prices go.
Yep. That's the new you can get from Amazon, but there are people selling them used for $89.60.
Wow.
Isn't it crap? Jerks.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what it costs here, and of course you got to get a region 2 player, but I got, like I said, I got that at least. I got copies of if I ever need to watch my rips of them, but I would just wish they would put it on Canadians have to play the clute and speed chess. The clute and speed chess.
That's hysterical.
Just for a basic cable.
You understand someone had a shirt like I beat the clute and speed chess somewhere.
I sent that to Chloe.
Yes.
It's on Redbubble.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love
it. I beat the clute. They have that T-shirt on Redbubble.
That was a fun episode, yeah.
I love that.
I sent it to Chloe at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, look at this.
That's my number 4 episode, Gambit.
Yeah.
I have that one highly rated, number 4. What about you, Max? What do you rate it? I mean, one day we'll get into it. We'll have to look at each other's ratings of the episodes, Max. And of course, Raquel when she does hers.
Oh, did you tell Max? I don't think Max is here. Max, Clubby is doing a rating system for all the episodes.
Yeah, I think I did.
He's rating them from 1 to 7. Get it? Blake 7.
Yeah.
Is Oric helping you with that one?
Yes.
Yes, Oric is helping. But Max, keep that in mind, because like I know that you're a chronic, like you're a little sick in the head, like Clubby when it comes to the Blake 7. So make sure that you have your list prepped like that for when we hash it out.
Now, J-Man, by process of elimination, figured out my number one because he keeps that. It's been every now and then he will write something and say, "So have I seen your number one yet?" Nope. So he's kind of figured it out, but it's a secret right now. But, yeah. And even if don't guess at it. Don't guess. Even if you guess at it, I'm not going to say Max, so it don't matter. But I would like to know your number one, Max, if you want to let the cat out of the bag.
Oh my goodness. Max, are you willing to share that?
Do you have a number one, Max? Maybe he doesn't even have one. I don't want to put pressure on him, you know.
I think Max can like fully quote full Blake 7 episodes.
I know he can. I've seen him do it. And that's what I wanted to do myself.
He's chronic. Like
it's a spreadsheet, right?
Yeah, he has a spreadsheet. He has an Excel spreadsheet.
I had to make one. I didn't make a spreadsheet because I don't know how. I just did it weird. I typed it funny. But, you know.
Hostage. Hostage.
Number one. Wow, I like Hostage a lot. I have Hostage at number 24.
What?
We're very.
That's a discrepancy there. Wow.
I love it. I mean,
them
look,
is fighting words.
No, I like it. Hostage is a top notch. I mean, I like it.
Green.
I have it rated at in 5.5 on the 1 to 7 plus scale. I like Hostage. That's your number one, huh? Oh, wow. Okay. Now I want to see your list, man, because I want to see how different we are, man. So I'm sure
Captain,
we have. Yes.
Look at this beautiful comment here from our friend Pleasant Valley Picker. He said, I just want to thank you all for offering options. You guys are a great community. Pleasant Valley Picker.
Thank you.
It is such an honor to bring these crazy shows that Clobby talks about to my fellow Canadians. Absolutely love it. And I love that you're having a great time. And I hope you have an opportunity to watch Blake 7 because it is such a great science fiction show.
Well, absolutely. Thank you so much for those kind words, Pleasant. And I hope you are able to find that. But, you know, I bet we have some very different, differing top. I bet we have a very different top 10, Max. Probably not, though. You never know, man. I like Hostage. Look, if it's in my, let me see here. If it's in my top 30, I mean, I like it a lot.
There's not that many episodes to begin with, right? And there's probably not that many
52.
episodes that you don't like, right? So
I mean, yeah, it's only like and even those I have things in them. It's not like, look, as much as of course, Star Trek is my all-time favorite show. I mean, you have episodes of Star Trek I actually hate, like "And the Children Shall Lead" and Spock's Brain and Spock's brain damage. I mean, and and, so there are a couple episodes I actually hate of Trek, and even Doctor Who. There are episodes I hate of Doctor Who. What's that?
I beg your pardon, Captain, but somebody from our community has got a header, as they say in Canada. Pop Culture Republic's got a header.
Take care, Pop Culture. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. So yeah, it's weird. I have episodes that I don't like that I have problems with, but unlike other shows that I still love, I have episodes I hate of Trek and I hate of the other Treks and I hate of Doctor Who. Of course, they lasted longer, I guess. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But I can't name an episode I really hate. There's some I don't think are very good and have very low rated. I mean, I have a couple of 1s and some 1.5s and some 2s, and some 2.5s and which is going to happen.
Season there was a couple of clunkers. I thought. Of course, I didn't really know the characters that well.
I got the web at 49.
Yeah, that's a clunker episode.
That's a clunker. I don't like it much, and I'm mean to it, of course. Yeah, so it happens, dude. But if you're in my top 30, I mean that is 5 on up. That's solid stuff. And on a scale from 1 to 7 plus to a 5 and a 5.5, that's I call that fairly highly rated. 8 rating system. Hostage ticks every box. However, my system did not rate Rumors of Death highly. Also, well, that's my number 2. Also, I was not a fan of the Avon. There's no such thing. Oh man, we don't want any spoiler stuff, dude.
No spoilers. No spoilers. Yep.
Can't believe you did that, Max.
I only have 4 left, Max.
She only has 4 left, Max.
I don't.
And I was a fan of those, but
What's your problem, Mark? What is your problem?
I'm rebuilding the Enterprise.
No spoilering, dude. Oh well, just ignore that.
Except I sneaked at the episode guide because after season 2 into season 3, I'm like, well, wait, where's some of my
What?
characters that I love? You know, where did they go? What's
Stop
going on?
looking on the internet.
It's not like I ever looked at my Christmas presents and tried to sneak into your parents' closet to see what was there. I would never do that. You know, never do that.
What do you mean
Ever,
rebuild?
ever.
Yeah, Jill says.
Never,
What
I
do you
would
mean
never rewrap a present, right?
rebuilding the Enterprise?
Well, after it, I saw you guys were talking about our beloved Enterprise in Star Trek 3 that was destroyed. Yeah, so I'm just making.
I'm hearing you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, actually, Jill, I do
Yeah,
have a
rebuild.
beautiful model of the Enterprise that I built, and I had painted every panel, and it was gorgeous. But one of the nacelles broke off, so I was going to fix it. But I had it in my attic, like in my basement, like on the rafters, or how would you describe it? And I had one of those halogen lamps in my workshop, and I turned it on, and it melted
What?
the damn Enterprise. Oh,
What?
it's so sad. So I'm gonna have to
what?
turn it into the Enterprise.
Shin kicks.
Oh,
Shin
I was crying over that one. I was like, oh, the
When
mom
did that happen?
work. A few years ago, because I just put the light on, and then the Enterprise was like hanging, like it was above the light.
That's right.
But it's one of those halogen lights that are, lamps that are like you turn the dial, and now they have them fluorescent, but they actually used to cause a lot of fires. So it was so damn hot that it melted my poor Enterprise. So I got to make it like a, like the Enterprise getting destroyed. I guess I'll have to convert it. Yep. Yeah, JT says leave the nacelle separate, improves aerodynamics, even though space is a vacuum. Yeah, that's TV. Yeah.
JT Kirk.
Oh, that was so sad when that happened. Yeah. The Icarus factor. Yeah. Yeah, so safety tip: don't put your models above halogen lamps. Yeah.
My goodness, shite happens, duder.
Yep.
Shite happens.
Oh,
What you gonna do?
Ink spill on comic pages for the boss. Oh yeah, that would give you nightmares, Hungry Boy. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Oof.
Oh lordy. Yeah. I have a diecast Enterprise D. Yep, I remember that one from the Playmates.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been seeing you put that up there, Max. Mitchell Ryan. That's true. He was, and he was Riker's pappy, and passed on.
Yep.
Yep. Good actor. He was in Lethal Weapon. And,
Another crappy parent.
Yes. Yep. Hollywood loves those.
Phantom Outsider. The candle from the cat's paw. Oh no.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
And then I don't know if you mentioned it, but Laurel Goodwin died, who played.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot that. The Ensign Colt
Yep.
from Where No Man Has Gone Before. I mean, for the Cage. I mean, right?
Yep.
That's
Okay.
so sad.
79
to tell you about that.
years
I
old.
forgot.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I'm not on the socials anymore because they're too stressful. Everybody's so political. You just want to go run and hide.
I meant to tell you about that one. I totally forgot. So
She was
Yeah.
so cute. Yeah, she was.
she was. Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Died at age 79.
No, well, great perhaps.
They put her link into one of the articles here. My interwebs are really slow tonight for some reason. Gotta talk to Lieutenant Uhura.
I don't know what's happened to Lieutenant Uhura.
Help me out here.
Oh my goodness! Imagine if the candle from Cat's Paw had gotten too close to them those outrageous wigs.
Ouch. Yeah.
Yep. When I was a kid, I had a 1 meter Battlestar Galactica kit. It took me a year to build. Wow. Then I came home from school and found out my nephews played with it and was visiting. Oh, million
no.
pieces. Crap.
No.
Oh, horrible.
Dang, Mr.
Oh,
Angel.
that's a cool kit too. Yeah.
Which one are we talking about?
3 foot long Battlestar Galactica kit.
Oh,
Wow.
really? What? Wow. Well, the old one?
Must be.
The
I'm
big
guessing the old
model
one,
they
right?
did from the original series.
It must be, right? I'm guessing, the original, from 78, right? That's a gorgeous.
Yeah,
Well, it could be the new one too. But I mean, both ships look pretty similar, but
it's a. Oh, let me answer him real quick. So before we forget,
Yes,
Pleasant
please.
Valley. It's a 51, 52-minute show. What they did, I think, the reason why these running times are over an hour when they did these, I have to check and make sure. I think it's because they added on the DVDs. They made these long sequences that lead between episodes of these new versions of CGI'd Liberator. That you find on the episodes. Let me I'll take a look and double check, but I think that's what the deal is here on that one is because it has a running time. The way back, which is the first episode, has a running time of 1 minute, one hour and 11 minutes and 24 seconds, which is weird. I don't know why it has that much.
We have the funniest chat.
No,
I don't blame you at all, Raquel. I have Twitter, but I use it as little as possible. Did you see this, Mr. Angel? Your nephews are Cylons. Pleasant Valley Picker. I used to have so many cool model kits. Sadly, as a kid, I didn't look after them, and now they're all gone. Hungry boy, Mr. Angel, those nephews deserve to watch 6 hours of Dawson's Creek as punishment.
Oh Lord, I'm looking at this one now. They screwed around with it. Okay, hang on a second. It may be on here twice, or like 1.5 times. Let me make sure the whole episode's on this one. It'll take me a second here. Yeah, they got the openings. Okay, they didn't put those other Liberator shots. Oh, they did. They did. Okay. The whole episode so far is on there. Let me see. Because I don't want you to watch it and then have the thing cut off at the end. That's really annoying.
Yeah, it's a pain, yeah.
So it looks like get to the 52 spot here. Then make sure they have the ending because that's important of Spacefall, even though of way back, but yeah, okay, it looks like it's all on here. See, they don't have Spacefall on here, unfortunately, though. So you can't see Avon. Avon's only in 51 of the 52 episodes. So, damn it. Yeah, so it has the full episode, and then for some reason they started it over again, and it runs out a few minutes, and I don't know what happened, but the full episode's on there. Okay, there we go. So you're good. At least you can watch the first one. Too bad the second one's not on there. Yeah, but they have these little shots of the Liberator that they made, like this pretty nice looking CG shots they made that go on for a couple of minutes before the opening credits start. That's on the DVDs. So there you go. I love the Liberator. The Liberator.
Classic ship. Yep.
Yeah. I want a Liberator toy. I want an Orac toy. In fact, I want a real Orac, even though it's a pain in the ass.
Right.
Yeah.
Cosplaying an Orac would be great.
That'd be weird, wouldn't it?
Well,
No,
I think it would be cool. You just walk around with Orac, and people would be like, "What's that?"
Yeah. Now, I saw a really nice Orac replica at a con back in the 80s or 90s. Somebody built one.
Mm-hmm.
Max Russell said the first time I watched Blake 7, I saw Spacefall first.
Wow.
Wasn't until my first rewatch that I saw the way back. I did see the way back first. Let's see here. Oh, he's rewatching V, the TV series now, huh? I like the miniseries. Have you seen those for Ariam? Number one?
Yeah, those were on in Canada, so we got to watch V when it was out in the 80s.
Yeah, the first two the miniseries were both good. I liked them. The series, first season, well, If it had been
Yeah,
allowed to, yeah.
guilty pleasure, just
I
as a
know, but
kid too. It was
to
just
be fair, it got cut down. It only got to one season, or not even that
yeah.
much. They didn't give shows a chance back then.
Yep.
So what are you gonna do?
Hungry Boy would like to see the Liberator blow up P Hard.
Well, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? They could easily do that too. Yeah.
Well, it's an
But-
obscure show too, so there's not many models of the Liberator out there, and there's
Yeah.
some custom models and
There was a corgi toy.
corgi toy. Yep.
Yeah.
But it's too bad you don't know anyone who could 3D print one. I mean, that would be pretty cool, probably.
Yeah. Well, I don't know anybody, so. But there is the what's it? The VDC? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Really? Wow. Matthew Pounder says that the DC comics of V, remember they did a DC comic of it, are pricey today. Why? Weird. I wonder why. That's strange.
Huh.
I guess because everything is.
Well, a lot of key issues, collectors, or certain issues are worth a lot of money for.
I guess. It's not like they
But
printed a
I
bunch of
haven't
it,
heard that one, but hey, hopefully I have some of those comics. Then I'm not sure if I do, but people find nostalgia factor, and just like
Mark?
the first Micronauts episode is.
Mark, for sure
Yep.
you do, honey. I'm sorry to interrupt you while you're talking, but I have to do it for comedic value. Mark, everyone knows you have that comic. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I hope so. Yeah.
Sorry.
Which comic? V?
V. Yeah.
You bought every issue, didn't you?
I don't know if I
Probably
did.
did.
Wow. Well, it didn't last that long. Even I didn't
Yeah.
buy that thing. Jeez.
I don't think I have that actually, but I'll check.
That stupid remake came out. Maybe that had something to do with it going up in price. I don't think so. Nobody cared about the remake.
That was pretty lame.
Like all remakes. Yeah,
Well,
Jane
why didn't they
Badler was
just do
something.
something new. Yeah. Oof. Yeah.
Jane Badler. Oh my God. Tim Talk. What's up? I am.
Hey Tim,
He's been watching the Batman because I am vengeance.
how's it going, Vengeance?
Pleasant. I don't know if they had a Blake 7 model. They had a couple of models. They had a corgi. I don't know if they had a model or not.
There were some models that I found on the interwebs. Some of them are actually like low production,
Custom ones.
custom model, vacuum form kits. And I think there was at one point one kit, but if you look it up to try to buy it on eBay, it ain't cheap. Let's just say that.
$1 million.
$1 million.
$1 million. Yeah, it's up there. That's for sure.
Right.
Oh man. Well, I don't even want to see them because I've seen them on there before. I really wanted to get that annual they did, but then they just did. Back everyone knows what a British annual is, right? You all know what one is.
Nope.
Really?
Well, I mean, I know, but I'm saying I don't think everyone knows what a British annual is. So,
well,
yeah.
Doctor Who and many other different things had this thing. They had these they were called these British annuals that each TV show and some comics and all these other things were real nice, sturdy little storybook type size things, pretty big, pretty wide. That they would come out every year, and they were a lot of TV shows had them. Well, Blake 7 had a couple, but they missed 1 year. They didn't get one for the last year. And last year, so for the past couple of years, a group of people got together and put one together, and it's really nice. It's beautiful. And to add, so they would have one for each year. And they made one, of course, just not super expensive, but at the time, I couldn't. So, but it was.
I think
pretty
they
cool.
did one this year
The
too. I
thing
was
is-
looking at. I think they did another one. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to go ahead and just jump on it, but then I don't have the other three anyway. So, I only have 1 or 2 issues of the old magazine they did. They did Doctor Who magazine. I only have a couple issues of the Blake 7 magazine they did back then because it was British. We weren't able to get it very often. I do have the Blake 7 program guide book they did from back then. They did a book called Afterlife, which is a sequel, a novelization of a new story novel based on the show, like a sequel to the show. Paul Darrow wrote a book. I got the hardcover of that called Avon, A Terrible Aspect, about Avon's origins, which is not particularly critically acclaimed by fans. I thought it was okay. I bought it back, of course, because I had to have it back in the 90s. And then he wrote books, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. He wrote a couple of books that were sequels that chronicling Avon many, many years later. which I bought one of the audio books of it to listen to it, and it was him reading it. I only got it because it was him reading it.
Yep.
And I really was a little disappointed by the story, but it was Paul Darrow reading it, so what are you gonna do? I even have some of the
you had to have it. Yep.
right. And then there's those Big Finish plays. They started doing these Big Finish stories like Doctor Who does, and some of them for a while there, they had the whole cast, the whole living cast, of course.
Yep.
And except for Josette Simon, she didn't want to do it, so they had somebody else do Dana. And then we're there, and the thing is, it was fun to listen to. There some of the. I had some nitpicks on the stories because apparently they got some of the continuity wrong. That's how pathetic I am with the show. But it was good to hear them. But the thing is, you can tell they're, by their voices, and it's not their fault. No one's fault. They're so much older. Yet these stories are taking place within the time frame of the TV show. So, yeah, they weren't as good, but they're okay. I still got them, just to get to hear them and stuff. And that was right before Gareth Thomas passed. Then, a few years later, Paul. So,
yep. Well, especially obscure is the. I'm not saying it's an insult, but it's an obscure series. So anything you get your hands on, that. Related to that. It's just, and plus it's across the pond too. So, we joke about, Canadians not being able to get stuff, but, to get, something like that where Doctor Who was a lot easier because it was such, became mainstream. But anything, Blake Seven, I mean, I think maybe I'd seen a couple episodes probably in the 80s, on PBS.
Right.
I'm guessing, because I used to watch Doctor Who. So I'm assuming maybe I watched a few, but never paid attention to it or never clicked until.
Thank you, Jill. You're too kind. Go ahead.
No, and thanks. Yeah, and I was just hearing everyone talk about it, and problem being, a lot of Blake Seven evangelists will say, and
we're vocal.
Which is fun. Yeah, so give it a shot and see if you like it. Yeah,
it's not your bag. It's not your bag. You never know. Yeah. But Lord Thoth is a huge fan as well. So. Well, number one and Chief Engineer, I think we've probably done enough damage for tonight. What do you think?
I hope so. I only sit here a short time, but hopefully I did some damage. Yep.
I hope so. Unless you got anything, unless you have anything, Mark, of course.
No, I'm good. Yep. I got an early morning tomorrow, unfortunately. So.
Ew.
Yeah.
Eric Carroll. I remember the Key to Time season of Doctor Who when the Doctor was searching for the Key to Time. The one that Douglas Adams was producer of. I guess there is a book, but I'm trying to remember what it is now. So I don't know if I have the book, The Key to Time. But are you speaking? Is it connected to the Key to Time season where he went looking for the Key to Time? Is that what you mean? Please elaborate.
Well, if Retro was here, Retro would know because he collects all the Target. I'm assuming it's a Target book. So
no, I don't think so.
It's not a Target book. Okay.
No, that I'm pretty sure it's not. The Target books I used to have. Man, I had them all. Whatever happened to he still has them all. Damn.
Retro's got a beautiful collection. Yeah.
Moons of Madness, Mr. Phoebe. I love that episode of The Pirate Planet. It's one by Douglas Adams. Is probably a Thoth will just have to laugh at me. It's a top 10er. Or top 15er at least. I love that one.
Did you just see Hungry Boy's comment? I'm going to put it up.
What? Oh, you didn't see it? Well, don't rewind. You don't have to do that. I'll tell you. Unless you want to hear me yell about it more, even more.
Do I have to cover my ears?
No. The most insane. It is such an absurd. I can't even.
Number 46. Should I show him or should we just tell him?
Just tell him.
Number 46, Hungry Boy, believe it or not, was George Perez. Number 40 freaking 6. Matthew Pounder, they what this is, they don't have a number one yet. They're doing it week by week. I didn't learn about it till a few weeks back when they were at they started from 101 and I saw number 51. So I did a whole stream where I covered 100 through 41 through 51. And now we're doing them week to week here. And last week was that 47 was Michael Kaluta. This week they've got George Perez about 30 to 40 numbers too low, at all the way down at number 46. They are out of their damn minds.
They're nuts.
That's just total insanity. Yeah.
Kirby should be number one, Matthew Pounder, but you know how that goes. Oh, look at that. No shit.
I love Hungry
You
Boy.
rock, Hungry Boy. It's mind-blowing.
I know.
I want to talk to the Jagoffs that did this list. So every week we cover it. And I mean, look, they had Gil Kane at 51, so you know how sick they are.
Yeah, right.
Morons. Or was it 54? Whatever it was.
I have some chroma key for blowing stuff up. I think I might just blow up that
Nice.
list. I'll make you a video where you can just blow the video up, okay?
Did I ever do a live listing everyone's top 10 favorite series? Do you mean TV series unpleasant or what? I have not done that, but then that sounds like a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Well, I've done a lot of top 25 lists in my time. And yeah, I mean, years ago, Flash and I did our, as a matter of fact, wait a minute. Oh, about now that you mention it, you jogged my memory, which is not easy because I don't jog. Flash and I, if I remember right, and I'll try to pull up the video for you, Pleasant Valley Picker, maybe about a year and a half ago or so here on YouTube, we did our countdown, our top 25 all-time favorite TV shows, which was a remake. You know, I don't like remakes, but in this case, I was in favor of that remake because we'd done that many years earlier on my old place. So I think I did do that. Maybe I'll go search for it and find it and send you a link or whatever.
You know, I'm looking at our avatars and I'm thinking I should do a Michelle Pfeiffer era Catwoman cosplay.
No
Their
complaints here.
avatar.
You're not going to get any arguments.
I'm 100% going to do that. And I may do it right away because every time we do a Batman thing, I'm just a grammar commissioner. I need to do the Catwoman, and I like the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman.
Well, yeah,
suit.
Oh, who doesn't?
That's hot. I think I'm gonna start doing that one.
Or the purple outfit. You could do the Batgirl purple outfit.
Show me.
Oh,
I'm not a geek. Show me.
Yeah, my internet's
one,
not working well here, but if you Google, that was the Catwoman series from like 20.
I don't Google Mark.
DuckDuckGo, but Clobby, my internet is on Stone Knives and Bearskins right now. But who was the artist that did that Catwoman series?
Jim Ballant.
Yep, thank you.
You want to find it?
Yeah, the cover for number 1.
Okay, that's easy.
Right?
Oh, this one's nice. Oh, and it's also rubber.
What are you looking at?
The purple cap.
Let's see here. Catwoman, our old arch nemesis, Catwoman.
That was like volume 2 of Catwoman, or I don't remember.
She's not going to cosplay this. Are you crazy?
Well, you could just show the picture.
Well, let's see. We don't know if I'll cosplay it or not.
Are you crazy? All right, hang on a second.
Why? Let's see it. Which I will.
You are out of your freaking mind. I love it, but okay, let's see here.
Well, I love purple, so.
Rubber.
Also, the Batgirl had purple too, right?
Max Redstone.
Okay.
I don't have to wear the green contacts for the Michelle Pfeiffer one because I have green eyes. So.
And look at those boots too. See?
Oh, that's great. But I can't wear that. I'll get arrested.
I didn't say that.
But if it covered the patootie, I definitely would. I mean, she's got her pasties on. The only thing that's a problem is the patootie. You can't have the patootie out at the con.
Yeah.
Pasties, welcome. Patootie, not welcome. You got to put your patootie away. But I already have those boots, just so you know.
That was a famous run on Catwoman.
But there's a full purple one here, and it's like a rubber, full, like sexy rubber suit. I think I might try this one. But I do like the Michelle Pfeiffer one better. The Michelle Pfeiffer one's cute. Yeah, I got to do some cosplay, guys.
Flash and I did our top movies way back when. I found that, but let me find TV shows. I was going to put the link up there. I know we did TV shows. I don't know if you were around at that point, were you, Mark? But
I've heard a few of them. Yeah,
there it is.
Get,
I found it. I
you
knew I
did,
did
yeah,
it.
you did one. Yeah, you did one, and then you did movies. You did.
Top 25 all-time favorite TV shows countdown. That was July 28th of 2021.
Oh, so that isn't her patootie. Hungry Boy saying that that is a purple cat suit.
It is
That's
it's a
like-
purple cat suit. Yeah, it's a purple
Well, I can
cat suit.
totally do that one. I can
See?
do that one. I thought she might be naked, but she's
No,
not.
no, she's totally
Oh,
covered
no,
there.
she's not that. There's a link right there to that video.
Okay, well,
Countdown of our favorite TV shows there, Pleasant.
Let me look that one
Maybe
up
I should
before
put, it'd be helpful to put
Catwoman.
top 25
Catwoman.
TV shows. Here, I'll put it up. I'll put it where you can see it. Where I can, yeah. There we go. All right, there it is. Yeah, that was a fun one. We did movies also.
Yeah,
So you don't like
Hungerverse
that? You
saying,
don't. What's that?
oh no, Hungerverse saying the bad lighting, the color makes it look like skin, Raquel. Yep. So
Yeah, it
that's
does.
supposed
It
yeah.
You need a
does.
better picture.
No, I've got it. I just looked up the artist, so I've got it.
I
now.
like-
I've got the
I mean, I
pictures.
love that art, Jim Ballant. I mean, I love that. I love that costume. I love the earlier one years earlier with purple with the little dress on it. There are a lot of Catwoman costumes. Okay.
Yeah.
There are, and I love all of them because a rubber cat suit is fun.
Some of them are
Put
bad.
that
though.
on and you're good to go, baby.
There's some really crappy ones. But I love them. I do love the Michelle Pfeiffer one.
The Michelle Pfeiffer one, I think, is the gold standard.
There's Lee Merriweather's not bad either.
Julie
Yep.
Newmar, I like.
Julie
Yeah,
Newmar.
yeah, Julie Newmar.
I haven't looked at
But they're all
that.
very similar to the Michelle Pfeiffer one, you have to say.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think the Michelle Pfeiffer one is the gold standard. I think that's the one I might try first.
You gotta have all those
Yeah.
zippers on there.
I don't think they're zippers. I think
They're
they're
not zippers?
threads. I think that they're white
Oh,
threads.
they're just threads. Okay.
So yeah, I think that might be my next one. Oh, I gotta get a
Wow.
bullwhip. I need to have a bullwhip.
And you got to practice
That
with the whip too. We want to see you
that a-
knocking
isn't that
heads off of mannequins in one.
Isn't that a
take.
cat of nine tails?
Cat of nine tails? Well, Pfeiffer had a
Oh, yeah.
whip, I think, in the Batman Batman. I
She
think
did
it
Yeah,
was a
Phantom
whip, yeah.
Outsider says I'm right. They are stitches. I thought they were stitches. See, I might not be like a total geek and a total comic expert, but
Look at that!
I love
Look at
my
that statue.
cosplay.
Look at that statue.
Nice.
Yeah, see, that's perfect. That's a beautiful. Okay, I got to do that. And look at the. I got to get it close. Those boots. Yeah.
But by the way, we can still the three of us do our top shows. I'm not saying I think we should on one of our nights. We should.
That'd be
but we
fun,
should-
yeah.
We could just do 10, if you or whatever.
Yep.
TV shows, but
TV shows, yeah.
Raquel doesn't like TV shows.
Well, she could find 10, I'm sure.
I know.
I can already add one to the list. So Star Trek, TOS. So she's only got to pick 9 other ones.
Yeah, watch Star Trek. I can't remember my list off the top of my head now. It's been a while, but I don't know if I think the only Trek show that made my list was Real Deal. I mean, no, I may have put DS9 up somewhere later. I can't remember. Can't remember now.
Yeah,
That'd be a
is
fun
great
list to do, yeah.
cosplay. Why don't people do this cosplay more often? This is a great cosplay.
I didn't see many of this Catwoman at Comic-Con the last time I was there. I don't think people were cosplaying the movies more, it seemed. Newer movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I saw any purple Catwoman there. But
Well, you definitely have to do some tailoring because you don't want to get just a regular cat suit. Otherwise, it will pancake your girls. You don't want pancaked girls. You know what I mean? You
I
don't want
hate it
a
when that
pancake
happens.
butt or a pancake girl. You don't.
Pancake.
No pancaking.
Wow. I don't even. I don't even know what. I don't know what to say about that.
Well, it's true. It's
Pancakes, maple syrup, butter,
a definite
sausages.
issue. You really have to do you have to do it properly because it can be an issue. You don't want any pancake.
Yeah, I did put DS9 Enterprise on there. There we go. I got Blake
did
7. I got Blake 7 at number 4.
And the prisoner's going to be in there somewhere too. Yep. So
Never heard
yeah,
of
10's not too hard to do. 10 is tough to what are you going to drop off the list? Yep.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Yeah. Arg. Well, there you go. Now you know what you want to cosplay again. What you want your next cosplay.
I have to do something so I can fit in.
Yeah.
Fit in. You fit
Peer
in
pressure.
anyway. You don't need that.
You look like Commissioner
look at
Gordon's daughter
and
there.
Batman. And look, you got Adam West.
Yeah,
Yep.
of course.
You got my Batman.
Well, our old arch nemesis, Catwoman. Yeah, my good close personal friend Adam West. Well, I'll tell you what do we let's in closing, anyone having anything left before we get out of here?
No, but I'm pretty excited. Let's do this.
Do what?
Yes, exactly, hungry boy. No flapjack and the gals. Don't flapjack the gals. Sorry, Chloe. Just
now I want pancakes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! But Mark needs to get up early.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. My wife's going, why are you making pancakes in the middle of the night? I just had to have some pancakes. What's that smell?
Thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. We really appreciate it. You've been just fantastic. What a big crowd we had too. I'm just shocked. Just amazing. And I hope we can remember everyone. I'm going to try. Of course, the wonderful anti-derivative Jill is here. 6 popped in earlier. 6. I hope if you are hearing this, my dear, and you're probably already asleep now, but if not, please feel much better. I hope you will get well soon.
Yeah.
No 6 had a cold or something?
Yeah, a flu. She has a
She has the
problem with the flu. Then you know how that goes this time of year. But
terrible.
yes, and it's never good. So get well soon. 6. The lovely Sherry was here. So we had some ladies at least, and we always love having the ladies with us here. The great Kal-El is here, the super one indeed, the great Max Redstone, master of Limerick.
Mm-hmm.
Our wonderful chief of engineering, communication, sorry, anti-derivative Jill. Thank you for being here, Jill. Probably, I know I already mentioned you, but I backtracked because the thing jumped on me. Pleasant Valley Picker, thank you so much for being here tonight. Appreciate you. Hungry Boy Brother, thank you. Mr. Angel, great to see you. JT Kirk, great to see you. Eric Carroll, thank you so much. Tom at Midnight says had to run, but it was good to see him pop in here. Let's see. Oliver Belamonte, good to see you. Thank you so much. Matthew Pounder, thank you. Let's see here. Well, just want to be sure, This thing goes all the way back to don't want to miss it. Well, it claims to go all the way back to the front. Comic Relief Crusader was here. Thank you for being here, and congratulations to you and your good news. Pop Culture Republic was here. Thank you for being here, my friend. Tim's Talk. Good to see you, buddy. Take care. Oh man, I think didn't the Polymies Minion pop in earlier tonight? Yes.
Yes,
Pupper?
and the
And the Pupper. Good to thank you, Apollomy. Trevor Cunningham. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Phantom Outsider, brother. I don't know if D-Bud popped in or not because I saw him. Maybe it was last time I saw him. Well, they always hail the D-Bub though. D-Bub because he's, he's pretty cool.
The Man of Iron.
The Man of Iron. Dalek 451. Thank you so much for being here, Captain Cockney Spock. Marty Spock, of course, popped in earlier. Good to see you, Spock. Okay, I think I've probably covered everyone. Just want to be JT Kirk. How could I forget that? I finally found you. There you go. JT Kirk, appreciate you, buddy. Well, I think that's. I'm sure there's some we missed, everyone. I'm sorry about that if I did, but it's tough to backtrack and have everyone. I don't write them down like I do on Saturday nights, so we will just go back a little bit more than I will do show notes. Oh, Steve Ernest popped in. Stephen Ernest was here.
Yes, Stephen Ernest was here.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Yeah, man. There
Right.
you go. Dave popped in earlier. Dave, thank you. We got as many names as we could. There was one new person, and the only reason I'm not saying the name is because I can't remember what it was. It was a different kind of a name, and I started with an A or something, maybe.
A Gowo.
Something to go. I apologize. Yeah, something to go.
Adagowo.
Yeah, JD Lewis.
Ooh.
JD Lewis, good to see you. Thank you. But I would mention the name. It's just I can't. Dale Steve Mitchum was here earlier for a little bit. The great Steve Mitchum. Scuba Pete was here tonight. Scuba Pete.
And Leslie was with him.
And Leslie, indeed. Absolutely. So I think we got as many as we're going to be able to remember. Did I get the Bronze Wrencher, the great Eric K? I think I did, but we'll get him again. Appreciate you, brother. So, show notes, my friends. Saturday night Star Trek. Same Trek time, same Trek channel, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Starting season 6. 4 more reviews. I got a new video that dropped today. My new CLOBBERIN Comics Corner Spinner Time Machine dropped today. Another one dropping tomorrow, the second one for that. And Monday night, we'll pay tribute to our beloved old friend, Mark C. And before we get out of here, I want to thank you all again. It is what a gang, what a great bunch you are. Just really appreciate it. Oh yes, that was it. Engowo.
That's Dadman's daughter. If I'm.
Oh, that was Ang. Okay, she still got
Ang. I think. Yep, that's her handle. Yep.
Really?
Ang.
That
Oh,
was
pretty sure, yep.
We had Dadman Clan
I
in the
didn't
house.
know that. Engowo. Oh, okay.
I didn't know that. I would have been like,
Oh.
"Hey, Cheeky Poo, how are you?"
Yeah. Well, there you go, Ango. Well, thank you for popping
She's
in,
on.
Ango.
She's got a great channel on Twitch.
Okay.
So
Oh, okay. Well, there
I
you
shall
go.
post that.
Oh,
If I call
Bobby
it
and
up.
I are sorry we didn't recognize you, sweetheart.
Yeah, I did not. I didn't know. So, all right. Well, I'll tell you what, folks. Thank you all so much again. What a great gang you are. I will just say that our wonderful first officer has literary works that I would like you to check out, and therefore, and thus, take a look at this, and then we'll play the end credits, and we will be gone. So great tonight. I mean, just unbelievable. You're all been amazing. So have a great night, everyone.
Take care.